welcome to this very special episode of Drum Key. This is our second episode this year. We are, as you can probably tell, not in our studio. We are at the Delaware Drum Show 2024.
This is our remote studio. We are
Right.
on tour currently right now. So you
Yes.
got to catch us. We're going across the United States. We're podcasting from here
On
until the
tour.
Pacific Ocean, baby. We're
On
in
tour.
it.
That'd be kind of fun to
I
take
know.
it.
Take it to Nashville, visit
Oh,
some
yeah.
places down there.
Chicago Drum Show.
Yeah.
Hit them all up along the way, too.
It's such a great idea. I mean, this is such a great idea to begin with. I mean, just taking the
Oh,
podcast to the drum show. Everyone's walking by saying, what's going
What
on here?
the heck are those guys doing?
mean-
They're literally sitting on a couch in the middle of chaos at a drum show, surrounded
Right.
by cymbals and drum sets being demoed.
Surrounded
and
by
they're-
great drummers, too.
Oh my gosh. There's
So
a
many
lot of
great
people
drummers
here
are
today.
here.
There's a lot of people here today. And so I went over, I was schmoozing. I'm not gonna lie. I schmoozed.
Yeah.
I schmoozed just a little bit. I was talking to hopefully we get him over here. Petrillo said he's gonna stop in.
Yeah.
Ed Toth, Doobie
Yep.
Brothers drummer, is gonna stop in, and Bernard Purdy.
Yep.
So we'll see if we can get Bernard over here. I know he's doing a clinic, so maybe after clinic, maybe later in the show, we'll have him on. I'm not sure, or he might not. You know, he might be busy because this place is hopping. Doors just open, so we just wanted to do a quick intro while we had a little bit of sanity. But this day might get away from us.
Yeah, I'm totally distracted. I'm not,
Dude, this is
I'm
crazy.
easily distracted. So, everywhere you look is someone coming up and looking
Exactly.
and playing drums. And I'm like, my ADHD is off the
Oh,
charts here right now, okay?
Yes, it's absolutely insane. Luckily, we've got Mark here behind the scenes. Mark, why don't you hop on just for a second here? Hop on the couch, dude. This is Mark Conkey. He is one of our go-to guys at drums, etc. While we're upstairs filming the podcast, he's actually getting work done downstairs. Usually
He's packing the orders. He's printing. He's
Oh, yeah.
pulling.
Shipping.
There you go. He's not educated on that. We didn't brief him on the podcast protocol.
Yeah.
But yeah, super excited to be here. I know Freddie's going to stop by. We'll be full drums, etc. staff at the Delaware Drum Show. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking this out. Hopefully some of this audio isn't too
There's Gabe.
unbearable. There's Gabe. Oh yeah, we're going to have a lot of guests on this podcast
Bring
today.
'em in.
But thank you guys for checking out this episode. We will see who we get. We're going to do some throwback questions, do some new stuff, do all sorts of different things. Thank you for being here. Let's get this thing rolling.
Eric.
Throw those headphones on. We are honored to welcome our first guest of the day, a new friend of the shop, Mr. Dr. Eric Binder. Thank you for being on the Drum Key.
Nice to meet you, brother. My name's Shawn.
Great to meet you.
That's Shawn, man.
Yep.
He's been with Drums Etc. over 20 years,
Yep,
brother.
and I saw the performance you did at the Upside.
Yeah, man.
That Adam recorded and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. We played it
It's
at the
loud
shop.
in here.
Yeah, we played it at the shop. It was rad.
Yeah.
Freaking great drummer, man.
Thank you,
And
thank
it's
you.
awesome to see you here. I know that we had tried to maybe get you to do a clinic at the PA Drum Show. I knew that was kind of on the books. We were trying to
Oh,
work
yeah,
something
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
You reached out, and that would have been freaking rad.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely do something. I know we were talking
Big time.
too about
Big
doing
time.
something at the shop. But yeah, we're going to actually be back at the Upside.
Oh, shoot. You're playing another Upside show. That's rad.
Yeah, we're doing a 2-week tour, end of March, early April. So looking forward to being
Awesome.
back in Lancaster,
Yeah,
man.
we'll come out, brother.
It's a great spot out there.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's
Where
cool.
else are you playing?
We're playing, let's see, Richmond, Virginia. We're playing Chris's in Philly.
Nice.
Windish. We're going to be at
Yeah.
the Jazz Showcase in Chicago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mike's a good dude, Junk Rock Drums, man. And he's putting together a lot of cool little shows.
Yeah,
now,
man.
they held we'll talk to him later about it. Are they not? They're not at the shop, right? They're like at a location.
No,
next to
so
it or
he's
something?
got this like venue because he does music for like cruise ships and stuff.
Yeah,
And so he
yeah.
has this like rehearsal building space, and it's got a really beautiful like upstairs venue space.
Ah, that's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
it sounds great. It looks great, and
Yeah.
I mean a lot of people from downtown Westchester came out, so it was really cool.
Big time. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah, man.
awesome. So, because we're at a drum show,
Yeah.
you've obviously been in the circuit a little bit, doing clinics,
Yeah.
doing performances, but you're also a huge drum collector and drum
Yes.
fan.
Yep.
Can you give us just a glimpse into your collection, what you dig? Because I remember seeing that beautiful Gretsch kit you brought to the Upside, but then
Yeah.
I followed you, after that show and to tag you guys, and I was just like, wait a minute. And I'm like
Yeah.
scrolling through and I'm like, what's that in the
And
background?
also,
What's that
before you
over
say
there?
that, you must be like a cymbal guru too,
Oh, big
because I
time.
saw someone come to you for
Yeah.
their expertise. They came to grab the cymbal and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, what can you tell me about this?" So they came to you to seek knowledge about a cymbal.
Yeah, man. I mean, so drums and cymbals, kind of just became obsessed once I got really into playing specific improvised music.
Yeah.
And then I got into, obviously the old Gretsch, but old K's really caught my ear, and just the history and the lineage with the music that goes along with it kind of sparked my
Yeah.
interest. And I think I have too many cymbals right now. So.
You can never have too
I
many
was going to
cymbals.
say, I don't know if that's possible.
But I know what you mean. It's like it becomes a problem at some point because you probably love them all, and it's hard to decide, hey, what am I going to take to the
Yes.
gig? Now
Yeah.
you're like, oh, man.
It's a
And you-
blessing and a curse,
yeah.
honestly.
And then you feel like you're leaving a particular cymbal out. You're like, am I hurting this cymbal's feelings by not taking it with me?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's great. The best thing about it is because for a specific gig or recording session, I can literally create the perfect cymbal setup.
Yeah, and you really are cymbals all have different colors and provide different things. So when that's a really fun part for me for drums, is to
Yeah.
like dial in a sound and be really specific. I just recently started playing with a country band, which I'd never done before.
Yeah.
But I was able to grab a whole separate set of cymbals, a different kit, bring it out for that genre, and it fit the room, and it was great. And it's so much fun. I missed that because for a long time I got stuck in a rut, and I was like, okay, this is my kit with this snare drum. The cymbals I swap out, but the kit and the snare drum were kind of the same for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've had a couple things, but it's kind of like, I'll take old trusty, the standby kit.
Yeah.
So especially when you're nerds like us and you end up collecting stuff, it's so great to have a reason to tap into your plethora of stuff.
And there's the complete opposite of that. Like, great drummer Victor Lewis. I got to hang with him for a bit, and he needed cymbals for a gig.
Okay.
And I got all heady, and I was like, oh my God, this is Victor Lewis. So I brought a bag of cymbals, like thinking he was gonna pick out some cymbals. And I held like two cymbals, and he was like, that one's pretty. And he didn't touch the cymbals.
Yep.
He just knew.
Until the show.
Wow.
And he sounded amazing. And then he went on to tell me, it's you, it's not the cymbal. So there's that other side of it
There
too.
is that
Absolutely
other side.
is.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
We've had a great example of that. I remember when I first started the shop, Shawn, you told me this, and then it happened with one of our instructors, Rick Nonnemock, a great drummer. But he's like, a great drummer, even behind one of these entry-level kits, can make it sing. You know what I mean? So and we'll demo kits for people, and it's not like you're trying to dissuade or but when you're dealing with poplar shells and crappy cymbals or something, you can kind of egg it on a little bit, really work the drums to get a better sound out of it. And I remember Rick Nonnemocker coming downstairs to sell a student something, sat down behind the junkiest kit we sell. Not that we sell junk, but like a used whatever.
Yeah.
And he sat down and made that thing sound like $1 million. And I was like, wow. So there's so much of that goes into it. Of course, just even the equalization between how hard you're hitting different things, your limb independence and stuff is big.
Yeah, it's really huge. I mean, you really can make any drum sound great too, which is interesting.
Yeah. And we had a master class with Paul Murr at the shop last night.
Oh, nice.
And so we're doing different things like that, master classes, all sorts of different things. So we had pads out for everyone, did that thing. But then he was going over, creativity and different things. And he talked about kind of like, EQing yourself and what you can do to modify your sound and what you can't do. And we talked about the difference between drums and cymbals, and how cymbals are kind of what they are.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? You're not going to change that tone, or what it takes a long time to change the
to
sound
break
of a
it
cymbal.
in, yeah.
To break it in. But with drums, you can take, a crappy drum set and really get it to sound decent. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And modify the
100%.
sound of it. So I think that's why, most drummers have way more money in their cymbals than their kits.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I say
big
that all the time.
Yeah.
It's very true. Is it true with you? Do you have
Oh,
more
yeah.
money invested in cymbals than drums?
Yeah, I mean, for a minute I probably had a lot of drum sets, but eventually I worked it down to like what I like to play, and that's kind of what I keep. And then it's like the cymbals is what I want to be choosing from.
Yeah, and they're a lot easier to store.
Oh my God,
Sure
yeah.
are. Yeah.
Seriously, I was actually going to check out his cymbal cart
I
over
was going to
there.
say, Pat Petrillo has
Yeah.
this cool cymbal cart thing. He's going to be bringing it to market soon, I guess. And we were talking about getting them in for the shop and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like every drummer, and he literally says in his pitch, like every drummer has a stack of cymbals leaning against the wall behind their kit at home. every single drummer. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I do.
wow.
Yeah, I have
you are
multiple
absolutely
stats.
right.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great solution. I'm going to be checking that out for sure.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And it's a funny thing because when there's something so universal like that, you're like, okay, that. Like I remember years ago when like talking entrepreneurship and different businesses and ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And they say like if you're an inventor, you need to solve a problem. And I was like, it's not really a problem that they're leaning against the wall. But to be honest with you, it kind of is a pain to sort through. I was like, that's going to work because that is such a known thing that every drummer deals with.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Big time. Big time. So are you planning on picking anything up today?
You know, my wife's told me no, so I'll have
She
to
doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I know. She will never know, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. There's actually a K up there that has caught my eye, so we'll see. We'll see.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Very cool. Well, dude, thanks for like stopping in
Yo,
and chatting. We're gonna be doing
of
this all
course.
day, brother.
Yeah, man.
And it's great to see you. And
Yeah,
pop
and
back
where
in
can people check you out?
Oh
Yeah, man. Instagram at the Eric Binder, and
Follow him.
New website coming out, drericbinder.com. It's under construction right now, but that'll
Dude.
be my place to go.
Big time.
Follow this man on Instagram. He
Thank
is
you.
awesome.
Fantastic drummer, but more importantly, an awesome guy.
Thank
So
you.
thank you
Thank
so much for stopping in, brother.
Appreciate you guys.
Dig it.
Thank you. Take care.
Sit your butt down. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Hey, Mel, sit down, brother. Sit down. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Melvin, sit down, brother. Come rap with us for a minute,
Yeah,
okay?
crap. Put the headphones on. Put the headphones on, man. Yeah.
We're talking drums. This is what
we do.
This is what we do at the shop. Pretend we're at the drum shop. Pretend we're at the drum shop and we're
Yeah,
talking
man.
drums, brother. This is the great Melvin Torres.
How
Here
you
he
doing?
is.
How you doing,
well,
people?
I'm great, man. It's good to see you. I was
Yeah.
hoping to see you today.
Good to see you guys. You guys just surprised me.
We surprised you. It was a sneak attack.
Absolutely. I
It was a
was
sneak
was
attack.
driving down here and I stopped at Wawa to get my morning coffee and I'm
Yeah.
like kind of the guy just took a picture. I'm like kind of they're in the Delaware Drum Show. I'm like surprised if I see him. And there you go, guys.
And there we are yelling
Nice
at
seeing you, bro.
Get your butt in here. Yeah.
This is, by the way, this is my second home away from home. That will be drums, etc.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Melvin, so you're obviously a drummer, collector, and everything else, and you're playing with what's the band right now that you're playing with?
Bobby Law. Bobby Law.
And there's something else
Yeah,
too.
the Bobby Law Show now.
That's
they
it.
changed their name. Yeah.
Great band.
Thank
oh
you.
my gosh, you
Thank
guys
you.
are freaking killer. I
Thank
checked
you.
him out on Spotify. I met the guy. He came in, and I think this was a while back, and I put him on. I said, wow, these guys are really super good. And now you're playing with them, and you guys are keeping busy. And it's country rock, right? Is that what it is?
It's kind of. I mean, it is. It's. I don't say it's a mix because they're trying to keep the roots of the old country.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got some mix. They got some mix like a country rock in it.
I'm
Absolutely.
totally into it. I think it's
Yep.
rad, man.
Thank you.
And are you traveling with this band, like flying? Because I see you doing a lot of flying right now.
No. I mean, the flying will be with my regular company, Griffin.
Oh, okay.
Griffin Greenhouse.
Gotcha.
A shout out to the guys over there. But yes, I've been out in West Virginia with them. They got right now plans to go back to West Virginia. I believe they're going out. They're going out of the state. I mean, pretty soon.
cool, man.
It's been very busy right now. Of
You
course,
seem busy.
yeah, absolutely. We took a break on it right now between January, February. We're gonna roll in March with the shows, and the reason was because we're in studio recording their new EP original.
yeah.
So we just laid down the first track in it. I took a listening to it around a week ago. They sent the raw tracks on it, and it sounds amazing.
So you having fun in the studio? Where are you guys
Absolutely.
recording?
Acres, it's Acres Studios. That's in my my
Wow.
backup yard, bro. That's in Mo.
Dude, awesome.
Shout out to Matt too. He's the owner. He's the owner of the studio. Great studio to work with, man. I mean, and like I said, Acre Studios. Anybody who wants to contact can contact Matt, and or can go through me myself, and I can hook you up with him.
Are you playing your drums in the studio, or are you playing the studio?
No, I
set?
was playing a set of he owns them. Yamaha State Custom, man. They sound absolutely incredible.
Yep.
The guy has two Cillian cymbals, and especially the new beats on it, A's on it. That's standard for studio.
Arguably
man.
the most
Yes.
recorded hi-hats in the history of
Yeah.
music.
Absolutely.
And here you are
I'm with
recording
you.
with them again. New
Absolutely.
beats, another one
You're
down.
surprised.
It is, yeah. It is funny that you guys said that because I was talking to Matt when I got there to set up my sound the Friday before we record on Saturday. And I told him, as soon as I saw the new beats on, and I said, bro, do you know that you have the standard hi-hats? And I brought, I use space on it, signatures. And I'm like, I didn't even took them out of the bag, bro. I said, I'm recording with this, bro. And the recording was amazing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear it.
Dude,
I can't wait to hear it.
And that's super nice when you walk into a situation and there's nice stuff there.
Absolutely.
So often when you're gigging, especially, we're not recording as often, but when you're gigging, you show up and the house kid is like, let me just throw this back in the closet and bring my own stuff because it's so bad and gets so abused, you know what
Absolutely.
I mean? So to go into a recording studio, he's already got that set dialed in for that room, so you can just trust him and just sit down and play.
And you know the lucky side of it too.
Yeah.
It is a brand new studio with brand new set. Everything was brand new, bro. I was like, I just changed a few crash cymbals because I wanted to use the ones that I used to. I mean, for recording with other people. But man, it was like kind of like you in your own drum, Joe, or like coming to drums, etc. And I know that anywhere that I'm sitting down in any of your drums, guys, I'm like kind of I'm on. You know, I'm sitting down. Everything is just nicks and tucks right here, but everything absolutely amazing, bro. Yeah, shout out to Matt, man, the owner of Acre Studios, man. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, keep that in mind, Acre Studio, and it's right in your backyard, and you just roll out of bed and walk down the street.
That's exactly how it is.
And record. How many songs are you guys doing?
From what I heard from Bobby and the guys, I believe we're recording 6 on them, maybe 7. But right now, of course, we are just testing the waters. You know, of course, it's a new studio, so they're going into it.
Where are you guys playing next?
We are March 8th, I believe, is in New Holland at the New Holland Legion.
Dude,
from 7 to 12, I believe. And then March 8th, I believe we're in York. I'm not sure where we're going to be in York.
I want to come out to see you
but
guys.
we are in York.
We should go out, man. We'll surprise him again.
You're a great drummer. and Melvin,
pop out of the corner.
Melvin's a great drummer, former teacher at Drums Etc. too.
Yes.
So,
yes.
dude, we go way back. We're big wrestling fans together, and I would go over to his house and watch pay-per-view wrestling with him, man, and we just rap about that kind of stuff.
I know.
So we could talk drums, we could talk wrestling, football, of course.
Dude,
he's a big Eagles fan.
Thank you.
I'm a Steelers fan, but it's all good.
That's great. Well, we're at the drum show. We're at the Delaware Drum Show. So let me ask you this. Are you planning on buying anything today? Are you allowed to buy anything today? Because you just got a nice Gretsch kit from us.
Yes.
So I don't know where your budget is at for drum show purchases.
Right now, I came in last year. That was my first time being here, bro.
Okay.
And the experience was, this is a great atmosphere, you know. And it was cool because I still have the pictures on my iPhone right now.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ken Newcomer, another drummer from the York area. That was the first person I saw here, and we were hanging around. And, bro, behind me, here comes the great Dennis Chambers, man. Just walked in. I'm like, kind of, whoa.
That's
one of my
shocks you,
dreams.
right? That
Absolutely. Yeah, but, I mean, this is a great atmosphere, great people, man. And, yes, I will probably walk out with something.
Good.
I can tell you what it is. I mean, I'm planning. I was looking for cymbal bags, and I was going to call you last week about it. But then, of course, I mean, I'm like, kind of, let me check the Delaware Drum Show, what I can find and everything. But
of course.
You know what my home is, man, and I end up buying from you guys.
I'm not worried about it because you'll buy the bag here, but you'll fill it with cymbals from the drum center.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's all good, man.
Absolutely.
We'll allow it just this one time. But if you find something, stop back. We're gonna do a
absolutely.
plug, and then
Absolutely.
later you come and be like, well, I couldn't live without it, and we'll talk about what it is.
Absolutely, bro.
But
Absolutely.
Dude, we'll let you go. Thanks for stopping in.
Oh, brother,
we'll
thank you very much. My family here representing
brother.
Drums Etc. Adam,
That's it.
my boy here, and like I said, just have a great day. And anybody to come to the drum show, to the Delaware Drum Show, hey, have a blast.
Yep.
That's it. All right. Thanks, Mel.
You're welcome, brothers.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Thanks for coming down, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to the drum show and
Hey.
sitting down on Drum Key Podcast with us.
This is my first time at this drum show. I've been.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
A little closer. There you go.
Yeah, first time at this drum show. I've been to the Nashville, Chicago.
Okay.
And I've done Las Vegas. This is
Wow.
the third
Well,
time.
That's great. We're the new organizers of the Pennsylvania Drum Show.
Okay.
Happening in November, so you got to come out to that.
Yeah,
Only
definitely.
an hour away from here, actually.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And I'm always promoting Good Hands Drum Shop in New York City.
Very
Nice,
cool.
nice, yeah.
your-
Yeah, Jess and the gang.
That's great.
Big
Yeah,
shout out to them. Yep.
Big shout out.
We always say on our podcast, support your local drum shop, and if you don't have one, we will
adopt you.
Well,
you probably have a great drum shop
Great
locally,
people.
and that's awesome.
Well, Good Hands Drum Shop is the last and only independent drum shop in New York City.
No way.
So,
Is that
yeah.
true? Wow.
Yeah, Jess used to be the old Steve Maxwell drum shop.
Yep.
Jess took it over, and he's doing an amazing job.
Oh, that's great.
And everybody who's anybody
Absolutely.
stops in there
Yeah.
when they're in town. So
That's great.
always happy to help them out.
That's great. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're from New York?
I'm from California originally.
Okay.
I live in Asheville, North Carolina now.
Okay, gotcha.
And but spent 20 years in New York City going to all the jazz clubs and worked there for many years and just I had a chance to come to this drum show, so I didn't want to
Yeah.
miss it.
You got it. You got it. When you
It's
have the
one day.
opportunity. When you have the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
One day only, right?
Are you on the lookout for something in particular, or is it going to
Well,
be just
I'm
whatever
into,
catches your eye?
I'm into.
You already have a bag.
I-
You
yeah,
have
I know. I've got some.
the show just started.
I know. I've got some old vintage drum books which I like to collect, and
Nice.
I'm
Did you
with.
just buy those? or
Well,
did you bring them?
yeah, and I'm with Mangiello Cymbals.
Oh,
They do all my cymbals, and
Nice.
I'm more than happy to
Support him, man.
Yes,
That's great.
definitely. Everything's handmade in the United States.
wow.
And Mike's a great jazz drummer himself, and so I go over to his place, and he'll make me something custom,
That's
right there
amazing,
while
man.
I wait.
To have that as your disposal
Oh my
is
God.
Pretty
incredible. I wish we had that, man.
We do laser engraving.
Yeah, we do laser engraving
On
and
drumsticks.
stuff on drumsticks.
We do that
We do that
while you
in-house,
wait.
But man, we're
That's
not hammering
Cymbal
cymbals for you.
smiths. So how?
Yeah.
I mean, he will custom do a cymbal for you while you wait.
Well, if you make an appointment with him, you go to mangiellocymbals.com, and I've got photos of my cymbal set up on my website.
Nice.
If it's okay to,
Yeah,
Dude, no,
plug,
Yeah.
plug.
it's just joederenzo.com, joederenzo.com.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's why we're here. We're here to help out drummers, talk
Yeah.
drums, of course, but
Yeah,
just
and
get
all
the
of
word
my
out.
all of my
That's great.
social media is just at joederenzo. You'll
That
find
makes
it
it
all.
easy.
Yeah, really.
That makes it easy.
Yeah.
Now, primarily, you're a jazz drummer. I
Jazz
think?
drummer, and I work with Craviato drums, and like I said,
Craviato, yeah,
Mangiello
baby.
cymbals, and I promote them, they promote me.
Yeah,
so it's a great thing. Yeah.
And that endorsement kind of relationship is usually misunderstood.
Yeah.
Some people go to shows like this and they're like, "Hey, give me free stuff," and it's like
Yeah.
that is not at all how it works.
Well, Craviato allowed me to design my own kit.
Amazing.
And came out great. You can
Yeah.
you can see it at the website. And
Yeah, give us a little rundown on it.
well, what I did was I wanted a maple kit, and Craviato doesn't do wraps per
Right.
se,
Right.
but they do a lacquer sparkle.
Oh, very nice.
So I got the my idea of a champagne sparkle.
I love champagne
And
sparkle.
came out great. And
beautiful.
the sizes are, a jazz kit, 18, 12, and a 14.
Yep.
And
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I really love thin shells with reinforcement rings. Just love the sound with the rounded bearing edges. They have a bearing edge referred to as hybrid,
Yeah.
which is rounded with a 45-degree angle.
Inside.
Is that kind of like a Slingerland? Did they have
I,
that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And because I use the Remo fiber skin,
Yeah.
Yep.
those are a really dry
Very much
sounding
so.
Absolutely.
drum head, and with the rounded bearing edges. So with the maple shells
Yeah.
and clear
Reinforcement.
heads on the bottom, it's just the right amount of ring
Yep.
and tone, and they just sound
Yeah.
beautiful.
My mouth's watering. I'm like, I love
yeah.
this decision. I love this decision. I love
Yeah.
the sizes. The
I have
hoops, the thin shells.
I have an
yes.
old Leedy set. It's a Slingerland produced Leedy, but I have fiber skins on that, and what you're describing is to a T
Spot
exactly
on.
Yeah.
what you would expect from that. But also, have you ever tried the skin tone drum heads, the Remo skin tones?
I
They're a little
have.
thinner. It's like a diplomat weight.
I prefer, and I use them. I prefer the fiber skin because with brushes,
Yeah.
it's just the
Better
absolute
texture.
best sound.
That
best
texture is
texture.
just right.
Yeah.
Much
And
better.
I remember being at the NAMM show. This is 30 some odd years ago
Yeah.
when the fiber skins were just introduced.
Yeah, and they
And-
looked funky, right? They look different. We have some old ones we just had come in with a whole bunch of used gear at the shop, and I was like, hey kids, this is what fiber skin looked like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, back then in those days, Remo Belli was still around, and he would be at the Remo booth, and I would talk to him,
Yeah.
and I would say to him, "Hey, these fiber skin, it's as if there's paper in the drum head," and his
Yeah.
reaction was, he wasn't going to tell me,
No.
Yeah.
but
He's like,
it was
You know.
back in those days.
Secret
when,
recipe.
Yeah, back in those days when Remo had an amazing display at the NAMM show.
Yeah.
Remo
they
would
still
be
do.
there. Louis Belson would be there.
We were just talking about him coming down.
Steve Gadd, David Garibaldi would be there. Peter
Yeah.
Erskine, all
Yeah.
signing drum heads. So
Yeah.
it was something else to be there back in that day.
Yeah,
So
man,
I
I
feel
wish.
very fortunate that I first went to the NAMM show in 1977. I was 19.
Yeah.
I'm not 19 anymore.
Did you go as
Have you
a?
been recently?
I was just there last month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are some things that have changed about it? Good or bad? It can be
Well,
either way. I mean,
the drum section doesn't have the same presence as it used to. It just is the way things have evolved.
yeah.
More of the companies are going to PASIC,
Right.
and they'll be at the Chicago Drum Show, Music City Drum Show, and so it's just changed over the
Yeah.
years.
And also, you'll see that the bigger companies are coming out to smaller venues like this. You got
They
Feisty
are.
here, Ludwig, and
Yeah.
we had a couple of heavy hitters at our drum show, the PA drum show that we had up in Mickey's Black Box in Lidditz.
Yeah.
Some of the heavy hitters are now coming here because this is a grassroots type of thing, and you're
Yeah.
coming right to the consumer.
That's
Boom,
it,
right there.
yeah.
And I noticed at PASIC, Zildjian, Sabian, Peisty, big displays,
Yeah.
and all the cats are there hanging
Things
out.
are always in constant motion, you know? They're always in constant motion.
But I just think your podcast is amazing. So
thank you.
really appreciate
Well, hey,
you
thanks,
guys are here.
thanks for being here and stopping in. This is what we're doing.
My
we're here all
pleasure.
day.
Don't
If
miss
you-
out on
if
the
you
deals,
see
brother.
If you see a holy grail item, stop back in. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
bring it back. We'll talk about
yeah.
it.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing.
All righty.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Shawn.
We're talking drums, man. Put these on. It'll mute. It's like you don't even know you're at a drum show. Just kidding. Check, check, check.
1, 2.
Pull this in. Pull this
1,
in
2.
close. Nice and close.
Check. 1, 2.
Welcome to Drum Key, Sid Hammonds. Thank you for being here. Sid,
My
listen,
pleasure.
If you want to talk about a regular, Sid's the man. Always at drums, etc., hanging out, and he always leaves us. And your segment's going to end with a joke, so I'll let
Yep.
you have some time to prep it. Because every time he leaves, he has the most ridiculous dad joke type humor, and it cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
Cracks me up every time. Not every time.
He
I'll
must,
admit
he
it,
must
not
have a
every time.
joke book
Most
in
of the
his
time.
pocket somewhere.
Yeah, where do you get your material? This is really, we're putting you on the spot.
I hear him.
Yeah.
I,
hear him. What
I
a
hear him.
non-answer.
Are you one of those guys? I'm this way. Everything is a joke to me. Everything I see,
It's
I
true.
think of something funny. That's the way I think. So that's
It's a comedian mentality
Yeah.
of just finding humor in everything that you're doing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this. Like we're literally recording a podcast in the middle of chaos.
Bunch of goofballs
There's
we are.
cymbals, there's drums going on, and we're like, let's get some microphones and try to talk to people in the middle of it all.
why not?
Why not, right?
Why not?
Why not? So, Sid helped us. He was one of our awesome volunteers at our Pennsylvania drum show. So let's talk about. Oh, he's got the shirt on. There it is. He's got the PA drum show shirt. He's got it. He's true. He's a true loyal drum show. Come to another drum show wearing that shirt. But anyway, so we put together our show, which we just took over from Jack Lawton this past year, and that was our first time doing it. And Sid knows firsthand how little we knew what we were doing.
It was exceptionally organized.
Oh, thank you.
It really was.
Thanks, man. That was purely
But
out of
we were
fear.
flying by the
That was
seat of our
purely out
pants,
of
baby.
fear that we would mess something up or whatever. But it was a cool venue at Mickey's
No,
Black Box.
it
It was
worked.
a lot of fun.
Well, just
It
over
worked.
the years of hosting drum clinics and events and recitals and such, we had a little bit of that knowledge of like what to do and what not to do,
Yeah.
but that was a whole nother level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so what's your take on the drum show scene, the place that they hold in like, because everyone can like buy stuff online, go to drum shops, local drum shops like us, do all sorts of different things. You can get gear in many different ways. But what do you think the benefit of something like this is?
Uh-oh. I'm being waved.
Seeing a lot more options and vintage stuff.
The vintage thing is big, isn't it? Here, move this a little closer so people can hear you.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, just tons of vintage stuff, which you don't normally see. There's been a couple of awesome shops that popped up. Junk Rock Drums being one in
Yes.
Westchester. That's insane, like the amount of stuff that Mike and the team have down there.
I had
so hard to get.
I had to wash my sweatshirt after I was there because I was drooling so much.
Yeah.
Amazing place.
Just so much stuff you rarely see. I mean, and the other thing to keep in mind too is like what we do as a drum shop. We're constantly turning over all of our inventory and doing stuff like that. But the vintage stuff is so exciting for us to see because we don't get it every day. We usually have one or two vintage kits at the shop in a day. Which technically, does vintage start with 80s drums now? That seems wrong to me because that doesn't seem like that long ago. But I think I know that vintage drums, vintage drums for sale. It's not a 60s or 70s kit anymore.
No,
it's actually
80s and 90s probably.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I mean, it is
90s are probably in there now.
2024.
Yeah.
So you're talking 24 years to the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yamahas, look how they've evolved.
Oh. very much.
Stage customs and all that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And the cool part is that there's like, obviously the import kits for overseas, which are typically the quality is a little less, especially if it's like an entry level kit, But there's a lot of stuff out now that it's like if you compare price-wise what you get for it and you factor in the inflation and stuff, it's like to get a nice drum set nowadays isn't that much more expensive. I mean, think of the days where you had your Ludwig or Slingerland or Rogers in the window and you bought it with Zildjian cymbals.
Yeah.
We ran a side-by-side a couple of years ago, and it wasn't like if you bought all that stuff back then because they were only really nice drums compared to getting a decent set nowadays, it's actually not that far off.
Right.
Relatively.
And the quality has, from entry-level stuff back in the 60s compared to what it is now, the quality is night and day different.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can tell that because of all the tables of hardware that's around here, and guys are buying the wing nuts and the bolts and the stripped out, tom holders or Swivomatic this or whatever, And it's just that evolution of the, I think the biggest evolution, the biggest change has been mounting systems. How the drums are being held up, whether that's a floor tom leg bracket or a rack tom off the bass drum, off a cymbal stand, what may be. But those things, especially a lot of the vintage stuff, gets so stripped and so clamped down. If you've got someone who clamps it down every night and they gig the stuff, it can fall apart.
Yeah.
It can absolutely fall apart. That's why you see a lot of snare basket, rack toms and snare baskets with vintage stuff, because you either don't have the mount or something broke or something got stripped out.
Yeah. Yeah, Rogers and their collets, they would strip out. But back then, it was still a better option than the Ludwig and Premier stuff. Guys like Keith Moon and a ton of the big name drummers back then, they all switched.
Yeah.
Put on Rogers stuff on their Ludwigs.
Oh my gosh, the amount of vintage drums that come in, it's probably like 50-50 the amount of drums that come in that are drilled with Swivomatic stuff on it.
Yeah.
Or you can, the original hardware is back on it, but you can see the holes from where they had it on there, and they kept it and moved it from one vintage kit to another, that kind of thing.
I think one of the better things that happened, I'm a little more familiar with Yamaha than Pearl, but back in the 80s, Yamaha came out with their system. And it's throughout almost their whole entire line.
Yeah.
It's all interchangeable.
Absolutely.
It's all identical, and it all works. Now,
I know.
Go figure.
I know. It's pretty amazing. It's funny because the Swivomatic, just going back to that just a little bit, that is a ball mount. Like that's not that far off in the evolution from like say like a Tama Omniball mount or something like that.
Right.
It's not that far off. It's just all metal versus that plastic that strips out a little bit differently, you know. And it's really a lot of the same ideas, just improved upon over time.
Yeah.
Over time.
Now they use, I guess they call phenolic balls.
Yep.
Rather than what Rogers had was steel.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. Uh-oh, Mel. What's going on here? Mel just walks up with a drum. You see, he was just on here like a couple minutes ago, and he walks up with this fancy-looking drum. Mel, did you buy that already? He's nodding his head yes, everyone. He did not last long. All right, we got to get him in here. Sid, do you mind?
hi, Mark. No,
Do you mind?
I'm fine.
Let's swap Mel back in here, and let's hear about his drum and see what he got going on. Man. Yep. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, Mark. How you doing, buddy? Hey, man. Lovely talk.
Always. Stop back in, man. Mel, get in here. Get back in here. What happened? What just happened? You were here minutes here. Talking to the mic. Talking to the mic.
I heard somebody.
Yeah. Hang on. Stand by. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here's the story. You were here moments ago.
Moments ago, not even 5 minutes ago, and I'm just rolling around, and I hear this pop coming out on one of the booths.
Yeah,
I'm like, I need to see what is that.
Yeah.
You know? Never heard of the guys. Shawn knew as soon as he saw us, he knew who they are.
Yep, King's Custom Drums.
Exactly. King Custom Drums, Jason Reyes. A shout out to him and his dad, bro.
Yeah.
By the way, his dad is from Puerto Rico, Bayamon, Puerto Rico, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're my brothers. So it's
There you
right
go.
there at home, bro.
Yep,
At home.
There you go.
And I heard this guy just playing it and doing some rudimental stuff on it, and I said, man, this got a pop. And I said,
Yeah.
what is that? And man told me, and I said, that's a walnut compressed one piece.
Wow, let's take a look at
Walnut.
that shell.
Heck.
With reinforcements hoops in walnut. Okay, this is
Wow.
just absolutely ridiculous. The sound that comes in out of the snare is
Yeah.
absolutely
Can I
ridiculous.
see this
It's
for a
a
sec?
beautiful looking drum, man.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
this. Look at the
custom made.
inside shell. Look at that. Look
Custom
at that,
made
guys.
completely.
Wow, incredible.
And I just
Crazy.
have it for the low price of $385.
That is very
Under
reasonable.
$400? No,
you
for
can't
real.
get a pro level drum for under
real.
$400.
$385, guys.
Go to King's Custom Drums, by God. Look at this. This is phenomenal.
A
Now-
shout out to King Customs. They're absolutely
You grab
great
that
guys,
side.
and they have a lot of arsenal in there. I mean, but probably I will take the favorite one. I have 3 people looking at it, and I heard it, I played it, and I said I have to pull up the trigger.
Yeah.
on this
I would
one.
love to have one.
And of
This is a
course,
beautiful
I
drum.
involved my wife,
Asked her permission.
and he said, "Pull the trigger on it." Boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
You
Moments
can't
ago,
get-
Mel said that, I don't know, I might buy. He was very coy about the idea. And then
Listen.
he walks around the corner with a drum.
How are they
Dude,
doing it?
The show just started. How are they doing it?
How
for
are
that
they
price?
doing it? They must be
don't know.
losing their ass because this is a beautiful handcrafted drum, and you cannot purchase a boutique custom
right.
drum like this.
We definitely need
for
to get
less than
Jason on the
400. This
show.
is great, man. This is
Because
awesome.
I got to figure out how they're doing this.
Yeah.
We don't get. We
really
won't
does
get. I
sound
don't even
good.
care if it's off air. I got to figure out how they're doing this. I got to figure it out. I don't know.
They
Because it's quality, man.
they have a line of drums over there that they are just absolutely beautiful, and not only because of the look, it's just the sound. Remember, it doesn't matter if it looks like an old Cadillac.
Yep.
As long as it sounds, man,
Shop
that's what
with
it
your
gets you.
ears.
Exactly. Shop with your ears, not your eyes.
But
Absolutely.
now this is the best of both worlds because it looks great and sounds great. So this is a beautiful drum. Look at that inside shell.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
That will be the first show.
You're
will be
recording
March
with
the
this.
8th. Yeah, I'm gonna
You gotta
record
take-
with
you
it.
gotta take this into
Absolutely,
the
I'm gonna take
studio.
it to record it, and then I will let you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
And bring the copies on it so you can hear it.
Nice badge.
But
Wow.
man, walnut. I never own a walnut shell. And like I said, I pulled the trigger
Yeah,
on it
man.
because of the sound. I mean,
When
I
in
heard
Rome.
it. I heard it just walking. I'm like, oh my god.
When in Rome, brother.
And you heard it amongst the chaos.
Yeah, I'm on
Of the drum
I guess
show.
going around
Which
here, man.
means it
That
cuts,
just
man.
stand out. Bing! I'm like, oh, let me go.
Yeah. All right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you again for the shout out,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for the
Like
plug,
I said,
man.
a shout out to K,
Jason Reyes.
yeah, Jason Reyes and KM. honored for selling me this beautiful drum set and at the ridiculous price that they did. I'm telling you, if anybody's hearing
We
this right
literally
now,
Love it.
they need to come here. Absolutely. Bring
right.
money. Bring money.
Bring money. You're going to need it. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you, guys.
Now go play this drum.
Yes.
Check. Test the mic.
Check.
There we go. Awesome. Cool. So introduce yourself. Welcome to Drum Key Podcast, man, at the Delaware Drum Show. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, man. So what's your name?
I'm Sam Nardo.
Sam Nardo. And you said you just started making videos, right?
Yep.
Okay. Are you putting those out on social media and stuff?
Yeah,
or-
I just started making videos on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome. What's your handle? Is it your name?
Yeah, Snardo Drums.
Okay. Could you spell that quick just so people can find
Yeah,
it?
SNARDO.
Yep.
And then drums.
Yeah, man. Go check them out. Awesome. So what kind of music are you into? Are you doing covers? Are you doing videos of different things? Or?
So I'm interested in like death metal, any heavy
this guy.
stuff.
We need more heavy players out there. Everyone comes in here and they're like jazz. And I'm like, oh, another jazz musician. Not that there's anything wrong with that. This is awesome. So cool. What is your setup? Like? What drums do you play?
So I play Mapex.
Okay.
Because it's what I have for right now.
That's what we all do, man. Yeah, it's whatever you got. That's awesome.
I'm
That's
a big
awesome.
collector, so I want to,
Dude. Get into it. Well, this is
collect.
a very dangerous place because there's a lot of beautiful drums. We're sitting here
Yeah.
as we're talking, seeing people leave with drum sets, and I'm like drooling, not paying attention, seeing.
my bank account is going to run
Oh,
out.
dude.
That's for sure.
Be very careful. Well, we're actually a drum shop too. I don't know if you know it. We have Drum Key Podcast, which you can check out on social too.
Okay.
We're called Drums Etc. We're in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So
Nice.
If you ever need anything, man, even like the breakable stuff, sticks, heads, come give us a call, man. We'll ship it out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very
Love
cool.
that.
So, do you have anything in mind? Are you hunting anything today at the show?
Pretty much anything vinyl.
Anything vinyl? Oh, very cool. Do you see? We have the ultra hammered stuff. I'm not trying to sales pitch you. Those just came out. That whole series. That's it. That crash cymbal there is really nice.
Yeah, I actually never seen that until now.
Yep. It literally just got to the shop yesterday. So we're like, hey, let's bring it out to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like interested in any Boris drums,
Oh, interesting.
you know, any signature kits.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because that Varis stuff is real specific. Is there
Yeah.
a particular drummer you like? Is it that Spanish dude playing Varis stuff that has like the crazy feet
Oh,
and hand
LS
speed?
Tapario?
Yes.
Well, yeah, he plays for 8 hours a day. I've been actually
he's
learning a
insane.
lot from him,
Yeah.
actually.
He's a great person because he'll not only play something incredible, but then he'll say,
Mm-hmm.
but guys, this took me years. This took me so long to develop.
Oh, it
this."
has.
So
Yeah.
that's really good, because sometimes people are unrealistic and they just show off their chops and the video ends. But that's kind of a nice thing. He's like, guys, don't get dissuaded or get frustrated, because
Right.
this took me years to develop. So you'll get there. But
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're
I've-
putting content out there.
I've been playing drums for about 5 years or so.
okay. Yeah.
And I
Sean's
learned.
gonna pop in. Scoot you over a little bit.
Jumping back in.
This is Shawn. He works at the shop. You said 5 years or so?
Yeah,
Very
5
cool.
years or so.
Shawn, he's been playing for 5 years, and he just started putting out videos, content, death metal stuff.
Sweet. Where? Instagram, YouTube, everywhere?
Yeah, we went over his
Yeah,
TikTok.
Instagram.
TikTok.
You got to be on it, man. We got all that for the shop too.
Do you follow us on social media by any chance? Drums, etc.
I'm just checking you out.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. I was telling him we're a shop in addition to the podcast.
Right.
So that's very cool.
Yeah.
And he's into the vinyl stuff and the Varis drums. We were just talking about different drummers who are playing that stuff. There's a lot of those out on TikTok, and those smaller companies and stuff. There's all sorts of stuff like that. But
Yeah.
very cool, man. Dude, thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks
It's
for
nice to
popping
meet
in.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, brother. Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome to Drum Key Podcast. This is what we do, man. We do the PA Drum Show. We're drums, etc., man. And you've been get that pretty close to your mouth there. But thanks for sitting
Our
down,
stagehand.
man. I had to get you on the show, man, because I see you're incredible on social media. Your
thank
likes and your videos and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, we do a lot of twirling. The problem is, in our age, it's time to practice, because
Yeah.
I have a lot of real estate,
Okay.
120 properties,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
and to have time to practice when you
Yeah.
get older,
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
difficult.
it's very hard.
Sure.
Time is valuable. It's the most precious commodity that we have. And you and I did meet at the PA Drum Show.
Yeah.
I was handling the consignment, so it's nice to see you again, brother.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes,
By
thank
the way,
you.
I love you. I think you guys you inspire and give a lot of power for the young generation and for the older people like me, over 50.
That's not old.
Yeah, but we still
not
have the
old.
dream.
Yeah.
But we don't have always the time. But events like that and like you make, and to see your positivity, it's give a lot of power and make you practice more and put you guys put smile on our face. Let's be honest with you.
Man.
Well, thank you. That's an incredible compliment. But so we're at the Delaware Drum Show. You have a cymbal in your hand.
What did you pick up?
Yeah, I'm always here. I spend a lot of money here because I like less events. I bought like maybe 12 cymbals and much more stuff.
Yeah.
Right now I find one. I grab in a second another one. In my house basically I have like 15 drum sets open. I took one of my buildings and I turned to be like a huge drum place.
Oh my gosh. That
Yeah,
sounds
like
amazing.
but now it's about the time. Where you have the time to practice.
Yeah.
Okay, when we were children, this was the dream, to have like all the accessories and the drums and everything you want. Now that you're adult, you have the money, so you buy everything you want. But now you're looking for a time to practice. Always something
You
for
want to
drummers.
get good at it.
Yeah.
You have the equipment. Now it's time to get
Now
good
time
at playing.
to practice.
Now it's time to practice. I was practicing a little bit last night myself, and just going
wherever
through
you
the motions.
can find time, right? Wherever
Yep.
you can find time.
Yeah, and you know how that. I think it's happened to all the drummers because you work really hard and you get to a certain point.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose it. You don't want to go down.
Whoa.
And
You gotta keep sharp.
Yeah, and when you know the life, you have to pay the bills, you working, and so you don't practice so much, and it's like running. So you know that you're not in that shape, so you get mad at yourself. But it's it's Dennis Chambers, by the way, last show here, Delaware show. Yeah, he saw my videos.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he make a comment
That's
on
twirling.
my. I was surprised. Because of who I am, like a basement guy, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
And Dennis Chambers, so he saw my twirling and he make a comment.
You
He
got
said,
that down. That's impressive.
so he said, "Oh, I wish I can do that." I saw Dennis. Let me
have
go
some sticks?
because if Dennis
you do it?
Chambers,
Could you do a demonstration?
I have the video. You can see the video.
Okay.
But on the drums it sounds much better.
Yeah.
But you cannot do it on the air. On the air, everybody can flip sticks.
Yeah.
The trick is to hit the drum and to do the sticks.
Use that rebound of the drum.
Yep.
Got it.
It's a couple more molar rebound, But it's on all my videos.
Yeah.
But again, to keep it up, especially when you're over 50, this is a challenge. And like I said, guys, when I see you, and I follow you on Instagram, I follow you on social media, and let me tell you, you are great.
Oh,
you are
thank
great,
you so
and
much,
we love you. And
Thank you so much.
We love you too.
Thank you so much. Well, thanks for stopping in, man. I had to grab you. I know you were. I was like, get in here. We got to talk to you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, that wasn't being recorded?
No, none of that was being recorded.
Goofing on that guy's hat?
That guy, I wasn't goofing. That guy.
I was.
That guy had an awesome hat, and you said that was intentional, and I thought you were complimenting him.
No, I was.
There was a guy. There was a guy with an awesome hat that walked by,
Very
and
purposeful.
it was a bummer. Come
Hey,
on,
come
sit
on in.
down. Come on. We don't. There's no ulterior motive here. We're literally just here to talk drums.
Cool.
And honestly, if you have anything to promote, do it up. Do it up. So
And I also sell insurance.
get this close to you. You see, he knows what's up. He knows the vibe. I need to move this
I have
table
my
over
own
a little
show,
bit.
actually.
He's
as
got his
well.
own show.
Yeah.
He's like actually talking in the mic. Knew where the headphones
I
were.
know the thing. I know how it goes.
He knows how. All right. So let's start with who are you and what do you do?
Oh, so my name's Caleb. I actually run the drum shop over in Cherry Hill at Guitar Center.
Oh, okay.
So the least cool drum shop in the shop or in the
least cool drum shop.
yeah.
Hey, any drum shop's cool with me.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
It's a drum shop. We're drummers, man.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
drummers. Cool. So we're at the Delaware Drum Show. What brought you here today? Are you just doing the networking thing? Are you here to buy some drums or?
Definitely here to buy some drums.
Okay.
I'm on the hunt for a cool Gretsch kit. There's a few.
Dude.
So yeah,
You see that green sparkle up there?
I did.
I like
That's
that.
one
I
of the
like
first things in the door.
The champagne.
The champagne, and then John has a tangerine sparkle bass
Ooh,
drum
I didn't
over
see
there,
that,
which
yeah.
is sick. Just the bass drum, but Yeah,
that's a cool finish, though.
Yeah, it is.
Tangerine, man.
Yeah.
Tangerine. Yeah, there's something funny. I noticed this. I was talking to a guitar player this weekend at a gig about it because he had a guitar that had a little bit of sparkle to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, every time I see a sparkle drum set, it's totally normal and cool. And drummers are like, yeah, about the sparkle, like most time. And then most guitar players are like, if it's not wood grain or a starburst or a finish, a burst finish, I don't want it. And I'm like, we need to be more fun with the guitar. For some reason on that medium, there's a lot less sparkle going on.
When Drums Etc. first branched out into selling guitars back in the day, one of the first lines that we carried is an Italian company called Italia Guitars.
Okay.
And they have sparkle finishes. And, of course, Rick and I were going through
You're
picking
like,
all the
that.
sparkle finishes.
Yeah.
We sat on those guitars for so long because guitar players, as he says, they don't like the sparkles. We love sparkles. They don't get it. So we sat on these sparkle guitars for so long. Then we started carrying Ibanez, all this other kinds of stuff. But yeah, you're right. They want the wood grain guitars, and drummers like that too. But we like a variety.
Yeah.
There's something cool about a lacquer. There's something cool about it's like a wrap, this and that. It's all got its place. You know?
Oh yeah.
But I don't know.
I feel like when I was younger, like I definitely liked the more like gaudy kits, and now I'm like sparkles and any type of like.
What do you have now?
Right now I have a '60s blue sparkle Gretsch kit, and then I have a Pearl Masters as well.
Nice.
Also in a sparkle finish.
Which finish?
It's the what do they call it? It's basically their like champagne-esque finish, but it's got like a pearl-esque finish to it as well,
cool.
which is fun.
Yeah, that's very cool. I just took out. We had a pre-owned Masters come in like a gold sparkle, and I just took that. I just joined a country band, so I just took that out, and I was like, dude, this is like so perfect. The lights hit it, and it's like nice.
Yeah, very cool.
I have a blue sparkle Leedy, Slingerland produced Leedy from the '60s, blue sparkle. I also have a Slingerland in a Capri finish, if you've ever seen that.
I don't think I have.
Capri Pearl.
I saw a guy had a snare drum. He was walking around with a Capri snare drum.
Yeah, it's very similar to Mardi Gras, where you have like the long little strips, but it's not multicolor.
Okay.
So it's like you just have white dots everywhere, and then like gold little flecks of.
It's a very rare finish. It's super
it looks
neat.
like grass to me, like the little
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
strands. It looks like someone was mowing when they did the finish. They're just like, now we got all this dead grass in here.
Okay, yeah,
They're like,
I like
seal
that.
it up, paint it up. It's unique, man.
It's kind of
Very
like
neat.
a Strata, kind of like similar to
yeah.
Strata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said your experience with having your own show. What's your show about? Is it drum related?
It is not.
Okay.
We do talk about music on the show, but it's a horror podcast. We do a film review, and then we do 4 episodes a month. And then one of the episodes we usually have on a guest that'll be like an actor, actress, director, producer of whatever film we're talking. And by all means, I'm not talking like blockbuster stuff here.
No. But
we're talking about like B movies.
Awesome
but
concept,
it's so fun.
dude.
Yeah, it's so
an
fun.
Awesome concept. That's rad. What's it called?
It's called the Tapehead Massacre podcast.
Tapehead Massacre. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was just so people can check it out, but also selfishly because that sounds awesome and I
Yeah,
want
well,
to check it out.
if you're into horror movies, we're huge horror nerds.
Dude,
so yeah, it's a fun time. I thought about doing the music thing separate, but like we do about an hour and change every episode, sometimes more. And like right at the beginning, we usually talk about music and stuff. But my co-hosts are not musicians; they're just listeners.
You can only go so far with that, I guess.
They don't give a shit what I have to say.
How about this point A, right? And they're just like, I don't know. And you're like, all right, this conversation is not going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
However, a drum show that's a great podcast.
There's a lot of meat on the bone there. But also what we do is, of course, we're talking drums and all this kinds of stuff, but we kind of get out there talking about other things too. We'll start talking about movies and wherever the conversation goes. But basically, we're talking about music. We're talking about drums. We're talking about collecting. We're talking about the
every
industry.
facet of it.
Every
that
facet
too.
of the drumming community. Drum shows, the NAMM show, PASIC. We delve into all that stuff.
Awesome.
But then we'll start talking about movies, and then we'll start talking about
Sure.
our dogs.
Yeah,
It just happens.
It's natural. Luckily for us, most people. I mean, we've got the full length thing, but then we'll clip it up too. So for the drum stuff, people can find it. If they follow our social media, they can find a very edited version. Typically, I would say typically like probably 8 out of 10 clips are drum related.
Okay,
so I
cool.
think that's a pretty good ratio. For us.
I would say so.
There's probably 10% about Ghostbusters, and then the other 10% could be anything. Could be absolutely.
That's
anything.
rad. That's awesome.
But cool, dude. Thanks for stopping.
Yeah, no, of course.
And chatting,
thanks
dude.
for having me.
And I hope you walk out of here with a nice, beautiful Gretsch kit of some kind today.
Well, we're gonna see.
If you find one or find something and you're carrying it, stop in.
Yes.
And we'll show people what you got.
Sweet.
man.
Love that.
We do a little follow up. People are
Yeah.
now invested in the
Love
story.
that.
Yeah.
Go check out his podcast, and hopefully you'll end up with a Gretsch kid today.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Yep, see you
nice
guys.
meeting ya.
Here you go.
There is a drum show going on, by the
There
way.
is a drum show in the background if no one can
there
notice.
is.
Perfect sound isolation, right? You can't hear anything when you put the headphones.
Believe me, I went and spent $400 on a set of Sony headphones for being on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Noise canceling, and
Yes.
you listen to your music, and like you're in a concert hall.
That
Yes.
is absolutely wonderful. I tried my uncle has the Bose ones.
I tried the Bose and the
Yeah.
Sonys. I went back and forth, and I ended up with the Sonys.
Well, that's
Do
good
they
to
make
know.
good drumming headphones? Do they cancel out that way too? Nice.
Okay. Because I know the Bose ones, the way that they isolate is, they like listen and try to cancel out, and that gets messed up with loud noises. So that
No,
won't
this
work.
is really good. You have to. There's settings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can dial it in.
Yeah, you have to
Awesome.
dial in.
Well, hey, welcome to Drum Key Podcast.
Well, thank
We're
you.
Drums Etc., brother. We've got a drum shop. We do this podcast, and we love talking drums, so we decided to bring you to the show. But introduce yourself.
So, my name is Bob Meyer. I am 78. I am born and bred in New York. Old enough to have heard Charles Christopher Parker
Yes, sir.
alive a few times, and I've been playing professionally since about 16, with a few interruptions, but currently very active on the scene, playing. Really bringing the music of the late great Burt Wilson, who's a kind of a cult figure in the jazz world, with two great bands of top New York professionals.
Okay. What are the names of the groups?
Well, it's Bob Meyer Circular Jazz is
Got it.
is what it's called. You can find me on YouTube.
Awesome.
Bob Meyer Circular Jazz. You can go to a recent. We played at the Bop Shop in Rochester in I want to say October.
Okay.
And that would be Bop Shop Records Circular, and you can hear a whole concert.
That's great,
Of this incredible music.
Got some good plugs here, baby. This is great.
Great.
There you go. So I've been real fortunate, man, to played with some of the most amazing, late Arnie Lawrence, James Moody, Art Davis, Jackie Byard.
Wow.
Played with a lot of cats. Played extensively over the last 44 years
Yeah.
with Joe Lovano
Okay.
and with the late, great John Abercrombie.
Yeah,
Played,
man, you've been
toured,
out doing
and recorded.
it. That's
Yeah, I've been out
amazing.
doing it.
And you're still doing it.
And you said you're 78. I'm sorry, I must have misheard you because you do not look 78. 78 is like the new 58. I
It was
think,
all
man.
that good formaldehyde,
Oh,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
you're supposed to say drums kept you young.
Yes,
That's the plug.
Oh, sorry.
You really missed that opportunity. That was a
I did.
softball.
Well, it also helps that I like to hike.
Yeah.
Hiking is where it's at.
I've
I
been
do
a
too.
hiker
Stay
and
active.
a mountaineer for a long
What
time.
what drums are you playing, brother?
So what am I playing? I really got into vintage stuff in the mid '80s because of the sound and the feel.
Right.
My first drum was from the late Keith Purvis in Brewery, Washington, and it was a Radio King.
Nice.
So what I play a 50 scratch kit with a 20 by 12, a 60 scratch kit, a 12, 14, 18. A Rogers kit, a Mardi Gras kit from 1960.
We were just talking about Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I love that finish.
Incredible drums.
love it.
Yeah.
I do have like a couple of Black Beauties from the 20s.
Nice. Wow,
I
from
play
the 20s.
Leady's,
Wow.
Broadway Parallels, Radio
That's what's up.
Kings. I
Dude,
have,
you need a museum.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
and
I
there's
know.
one new drum that I play. I'm going to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Zildjian put out a 400th anniversary.
Yeah.
All right, but the guy who designed it is Aaron Latos.
Okay.
And I have an Aaron Latos drum that he made specifically for me.
Is that the one?
Not the Zildjian drum.
Okay,
but
but
one
is
of his.
what is it made out of?
Nickel silver brass.
Unbelievable.
So it's a very hard alloy
That's
of brass.
incredible.
But it looks somewhat
Yeah.
similar, although it's not shiny.
Sure.
And it's an incredible drum, and I love that drum. I obviously still use the Radio Kings and
Yeah.
and the Leadies and
Yeah.
and
I was gonna say, how thick is that snare? Because that weight adds up, man.
it's a 6.5.
Okay. 6.5 down.
I'm an Istanbul endorser, so Agap Istanbul. I do mostly play old Stamp K Zildjians.
Yeah.
I have 2.5 sets of the most I've bought and sold for the last 40 years.
Yeah, and you refine and you keep this one, do that one. And
Yep, back and
absolutely.
forth. And so now I have these incredible, I'm a 20 guy, so I have the, like 4 20s, 4 18s, and a couple pair of hats. And,
Yeah.
you know, so that's what I play. And I've pared down in the last few years.
Yeah, well, I have to say you're not in a good place for the guy who pared down. Being at one of these drum shows,
I just
man,
sold
I'm
some
drooling.
stuff, man.
I'm
Come on.
drooling looking around this place. Usually when we do it, we record our podcast. It's like up in our like attic space at our drum shop, and we're like looking at a bunch of drum heads and stuff on the wall. This is a very different, beautiful view.
I know.
Looking at
I
beautiful
tell you what.
drums, it's so tempting.
Joe
It's just too tempting.
Joe Meckler, Joey Boom.
Yeah, man.
Is first of all, he's one of my dear friends, and irregardless, he just runs such a wonderful show.
Yeah.
And he's so organized about it,
And super nice and problem solving. He's everything you'd want in that showrunner.
He's a beautiful cat and a wonderful player, by the way. Great player.
Yeah.
Very serious player.
That's awesome. Yeah, we took so many. We organized the PA Drum Show now, the Pennsylvania Drum Show. Jack Lawton ran it up until the past year. Obviously, he started it in '95, and we have the great honor of continuing that legacy. So we had the first PA Drum Show.
I went there this year.
You checked it out? Okay, good.
I was there with Joe.
Good. Wow.
And I had never been to Jack's show. It just never worked out. But because I knew they were kind of honoring Jack.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
And so I wanted to go and honor Jack because I love Jack. He's such a gentleman and a beautiful guy. And he restored my White Marine Pearl kit, which has a lot of provenance. I mean, it was used with Stan Getz and and all that stuff. And so it was a great show. I was very impressed with that show, and I bought him Radungum. There was a guy walking around with the Indian drum. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yeah,
and it
I
was
remember.
I looked at him and I said, "Well, what do you want for it?" Thinking he's going to say 100 and a half or 200.
Yeah.
And I'll go, "Well, maybe I'll give you." If we meet in the middle, he said $25.
What?
Boom, done.
That money jumped out of your wallet.
Oh, let me tell you, that was the end of that.
There's some Rogers drums over there that guy has.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you. Thanks for the compliment on the show, man. Because and it's really, I talked to all the organizers of this show and the folks involved, and obviously Jack was a huge inspiration for us, and so there was a lot to coordinate and get together, and there always is, but we were really happy with how the show turned out, and just the overwhelming support from the community. Not only the drumming community, which we have as a great drumming community, but the drum show community. The folks that go to these shows. It was truly an honor to do it, and we just approached it with gratitude, and that was an incredible response.
It felt great. It was not only a lot of good stuff, but it felt great. It had a good vibe. And, I was amazed how long we had to wait online to get in.
Dude.
I think we're going to clear a lot of that up next year. We're going to have tickets like on pre-sale and things like that.
Multiple entrances.
Yeah, multiple entrances.
You learn these things. As you
no,
go.
but
But it was
you
so
guys
much fun,
did-
man.
Congratulations. Did a
thank
great
you.
job. By the way, our man Adam Nussbaum is running around here somewhere. So you got to find him.
Yeah. If you
Talk
see him,
to him,
have him stop in.
Yeah.
Have him stop
there
in
you
for
go.
sure.
All right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you, brother.
Keep drumming, and hopefully you'll catch us in Lancaster someday.
There you go.
Mark, thank you for joining us on Drum Key at the Delaware Drum Show.
Woohoo!
We're here. We're doing it. We're doing it up. We had a slight headphone malfunction, so thanks for coming back.
My pleasure.
Sticking with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself to folks and what you're doing here. How'd you end up here, Mark?
Sure. So, my name is Mark Sugarman, and I have a new company called Pipe Dope Percussion Racks.
Okay.
And I'm a rack guy.
Yeah.
You know, some drummers are not rack guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a rack guy. I always like, going to a gig. I put my rack down. I got all my cymbals, all my toms are exactly where I want them to be.
Yep.
So in about 2020, when we were all sitting at home, I started thinking about, well, maybe I could come up with a different idea for a rack.
Yeah. Okay.
So my initial thought was PVC pipe, the
Okay.
stuff you use in
Yeah.
the plastic pipe.
Because it's a little lightweight but very durable.
Correct. Right. That was the initial thought. So I mucked around with that for a little bit. Turned out it was too light, too lightweight.
Yeah, a little bit too far in that direction, right?
So I went in the other direction, and I use steel pipe like this.
Oh, very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is really sturdy. It's really retro, really cool looking.
Yeah.
And the way it works is you use it with an Allen key like this, which when you buy a pipe dope rack, we give you plenty of these.
Mm-hmm.
And you have fittings like this, and you tighten it with the Allen key. Saves on your thumbs.
Yeah, no wing nuts or anything.
No
yeah.
wing nuts, you know.
That's what's
The
up.
wing nuts are always good when you're setting up, but when you're breaking down after 3 hours and you made one too tight, it's a pain in the neck. So these connections that you make with this thing are as strong as a weld, seriously. And this side of the fitting will accommodate any 7/8 or 3/4 inch down tube. So that's pretty much any cymbal arm, any tom arm.
I was going to say, that covers the gamut right there.
Right. So, you know, we have a standard rack that comes with 6 of these connections. And that's the other thing, too. Another thing is there's kind of a conception that if you use a rack, that means you've got this massive, huge kit.
Right.
Which I sort of tried to go the other way with that. And our racks are really optimized for just a basic kit, 2 rack toms, 2 crashes.
And that's
a
what
rack.
most people end up using them for anyway. They you know, there is that perception. It's not like you need 100 cymbals and all this to justify not having the stand bases there. It's like, no, like guys like to use it for their 4 or 5 piece kits. That's cool.
Correct, yeah. And I know that there's a movement now to less is more. You know, guys like to play with just like a 4-piece kit. So this rack is sort of optimized for that it doesn't need to be. So we do sell, you know, side pieces to, you know, get tricked out. But the basic rack is optimized for a 5-piece kit. You get 2 cymbal arms. I sell for around $2.99. So then the other thing I do is, and if you could see here, this is a much thinner pipe.
Yeah.
So we also have a rack for a percussion rig.
Ah, perfect.
So I play in a trio with a guitar player and a singer.
Okay.
And we play small rooms. So this little percussion rig, you know, again, it has a fitting like this. It's a little smaller.
Yep.
And they accommodate like a Gibraltar L arm for cowbells, wood blocks, tambourines. You get 3 hooks to hang your chimes or things like that. And again, it's the same thing where I'm going to a gig. If it's a percussion gig, you know, it's all there. And that's super lightweight. I just pop that in the car.
Yep.
And that's the other thing, too, that's nice about this rack is that it'll fit, because it's small, it'll fit in your...
That's what I was about to say.
You
Half the part, you know, especially if guys, you know, have all the drums in hard shell cases, that takes up even more room, and racks and feet. They put the big honking feet on them normally and stuff. And to have a smaller rack that actually can fit in the back of your like sedan, like you don't have to rent a truck to go to the gig.
And you don't have to take it apart. That's the best thing, because that, you know, it's all about the simplicity.
Yep.
You don't want to have to take apart the sides and have to put it back together. So if you have most drummers, you know, they've got a station wagon or a hatchback or something.
Sure.
This thing will pop right in there.
Easy. That's awesome. That's
cool.
cool.
One more thing too.
Bring it on.
Bring it
That's
on.
why we're here, man. We're here to help you out.
So the other thing is that this size pipe will accommodate any other clamp you have hanging around the house, a standard. Like so, the regular big like Pearl, Icon, and Gibraltar racks. Nothing against them; they're great, but they're big.
Huge.
You can't get a stand. This is like a cymbal stand. So any clamps you have at home, you know, you can put them on here too.
Yeah, clamp bells, clamp whatever.
Exactly.
That's great.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man.
So,
well, let me ask you this. I know
Sure.
you're here with your product and everything, but when you come to a drum show like this, do you leave with more stuff than you came in with?
Well, today I'm working. I mean, so I don't know how much shopping I'll be doing, but boy, there was a lot of awesome stuff
I know.
here.
We were just saying that we were sitting here and we're like, man, we just came to do this, and I know how packed the car was. I was like, all right, we're gonna have to sell these lights and do this. We need to make room for some drums, man. We're sitting here staring at beautiful drum sets in front of us.
And you know us drummers, we can't get enough, man.
I know. There's never enough. We
Never
were just talking
enough.
about. Someone just said a blasphemous thing earlier. They said I have enough cymbals, and Shawn and I looked at each other like Like, wait a minute. Is that possible?
That's impossible.
Cymbals can sneak up on you too because they don't take up much room.
Well, that's what I'm here with my son Ben, who's also a drummer.
Okay.
And we were just talking about that, about how, drums are cool, drums are great, but if you put a good head on a drum, you can get a pretty good sound out of it.
Yep.
But a cymbal speaks to the drummer's soul.
I feel like that's the theme of today because you're probably the third person to say that. You know, you can't tune a cymbal. You can tune a drum. You can make a mediocre drum set or drums sound pretty darn good. But there's something about a good quality cymbal. Once you find it, you're like, bam, there it is.
That's it.
Right, and it's amazing to see these, local guys making cymbals that you think of that as being some ancient.
Sure.
Man,
process.
I was talking to a guy. He's got a little forge in his garage, and I was like, "What in the world?"
They're freaking mixing
you
the
got
metals.
your own
They're doing
forge.
this.
I just picture this big industrial steam coming out,
Yeah.
but this huge big pour in this thing.
I've been to the Sabian factory. I've seen the big production of that.
Right.
I've seen them mixing and doing the metals and putting the.
It's crazy.
So so a forge in your garage. I like the sound of that. So
that's what I'm saying, man.
So one more thing I just want to add too. So
bring it,
and so the name Pipe Dope is a bit of an homage to my father,
Okay.
who was a plumber. So I don't know. So Pipe Dope is a thing. It's a dope is like a sealant that you put on pipe.
Yeah.
So that's actually a thing. And I remember when I was a kid, looking on my dad's workbench, and he had this old gnarly can of pipe dope.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, you think, oh, it's kind of a funny name. Pipe
laughing.
dope.
Yeah.
So when it came time to pick a name for my racks, I went to Pipe Dope. Of course, dope's got a lot of meanings.
Sure.
It's got some good ones and some bad ones. I mean, a dope is like an idiot. But a dope also means, hey, that's dope. That's cool, right?
It's dope.
And then there's weed or dope. That's, depending on your inclination, that's either a good thing or a bad thing.
Sure.
And, what's the dope? What's the information? So
it's a great name.
I just
It
wanted
does
to
have a lot of different connotations.
give a shout out to my dad who's departed,
Big time.
but son of a plumber. So that's where that name came
Yeah,
from.
man. Well, I dig it. I really dig
That's
it.
the American dream, baby.
There it is. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping in, man. Glad we made this happen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
brother.
to meet you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's awesome.
People
And get a load of this.
What do we got?
Realistic
Oh.
rock.
Yeah.
Carmen apiece.
Yep.
This is one of the
That is
quintessential
beautiful.
rock
Wow.
drumming books.
Look at the font and the fade and the text is
Beautiful.
awesome.
That's my first book I learned out of in this 1977.
Yeah.
I mean, the book was before then, but
Yeah.
I started out of this book in 1977.
Have you ever met
That's
Carmen?
awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Carmen?
It's funny you say that.
Yeah. Here, bring us a little closer. Just
It's funny you say that. I have met Carmen Apiece a few times.
Nice.
And, I actually just bought last week from Carmen himself his signature Mapex snare drum. That's
awesome.
That is 24 karat gold.
Yeah.
And it came out in 1996 by Mapex. Supposedly there was 175 of them made.
Okay, limited edition thing.
I've only seen Carmen's, which I just bought from him personally, and another one out in the wild. Other than that, I've never seen more than two out there.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Holy Grail finds and things like that. I think that definitely
That's
qualifies.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. Real quick, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Drove in here today, so
Yeah, man.
yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, very cool.
I know you've got the other show, which I've
the PA
yet
show.
to go to, but
Yeah.
is
It's even closer.
Is it this year or next year?
It's every year, November.
November. Okay.
Yep,
so
we did a fall thing. I talked
need
to everyone, and the guy who ran it, Jack Lawton, and started it in '95.
Right.
Jack Lawton up in Selinsgrove ran that show.
I've been to Jack's show like
Okay, cool.
5 times.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we were talking to Jack, and we were talking about, we pushed it back a little bit, but pretty much that's a time where there aren't other shows, and we don't want to step on anyone's toes, and so it was a great fall show this time. But yeah, we've got a great spot for it. It's happening again in November. You got to come out, man. It's a lot of fun.
I do need that. I'm sure though it's going to snow really bad. No, it will not snow that day for your
Listen,
show.
if
Right?
it snows, I'm going to release this footage and say, here's the day we got jinxed.
Yep. Mark from Pittsburgh did it.
Mark
Yeah.
from Pittsburgh. Mark.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool that you found that. Are you here with anything particular in mind? Are you looking for anything on the hunt?
I bought 3 snare drums in the last 3 weeks, so I'm hoping not to find anything here at the show.
You might be tapped out,
among
right?
all these drums. I'm like, don't let me find anything.
I know.
I've already found a couple signature drumsticks. I found some
cool.
Neil Peart sticks for
Nice.
$5. How do you go wrong?
Can't go wrong with that.
Neil Peart
Those sticks are
for-
$20 nowadays.
Yeah,
$5.
$5.
Dude.
I'm like,
Was
come
it,
on.
is
you
it an
know?
older model?
It's the Presto Tour.
Okay, yeah, Presto
Yeah,
Tour.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm like, $5.
Wow,
That's
okay.
cool, man.
Gotta have that, you know?
I know. We were,
All
we were
day,
talking
every
about
day.
that. There's a lot of those little tempting things, but then you stick around, you see the bigger, more expensive things, and you're like, man, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here drooling over drum sets just right in front of us here.
Oh.
And it's so funny, man, because
So beautiful.
I'm glad that we're doing this. I have an excuse to try to anchor myself to our booth, or else I'd be out there spending more than we might be making. We're selling a couple little gadgets and gizmos.
Isn't
and
that
stuff,
Terry?
but-
Is that Terry right there?
Yeah,
That
that's
is-
Terry.
That is Terry.
Oh yeah, we got to get Terry on.
He's
that.
from North Carolina.
Yeah,
right?
man.
So, and he drove here. So,
He's hardcore.
How
I
long did it
wonder who the farthest person is.
I'd like to
Him.
find that out.
I don't know. So when we did our PA show, we had folks from Canada,
Yeah.
the whole way down to South Carolina. Some folks from
Chicago.
Yeah.
came out. You
I'm
know,
sure.
so it's cool because it's kind of a regional thing. But then there's also folks that are just like, I'm flying from California to come to your show, and it's awesome,
Right.
Because you kind of have that representation. And what we did, and it's cool to see it happening here a little bit too. We really, because we're a drum shop, we roped in a lot of the new companies too. So like Peisty was there, like Peisty's here, Ludwig's here, but we're gonna get Zildjian on board, a couple bigger companies and new stuff. So it's not just vintage.
Let me interject here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just heard Ludwig pulled out. Ludwig
Oh.
technically is not here today.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I saw him on the list. I wasn't sure.
Somebody, I mean, I'm not up on everything at Ludwig, but somebody just resigned, whoever was going to come here for Ludwig, and like 4 days ago or something resigned, and so they were going to try to get somebody else from Ludwig, and
Well,
he
we'll
didn't have
see,
enough
yeah.
time. And technically, Ludwig is not here, but Keith Larson from Baltimore Drum, selling a little bit of Ludwig for them, but
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
saying
Keith's
there's
the man.
a position available at Ludwig now?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I hear.
Yes.
It's not quite in Pittsburgh.
You just
Monroe,
need
North
the
Carolina.
need the move there.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well,
Okay.
awesome, man. Well, thanks
All
for
right.
stopping in
Thank
and chatting,
you.
dude.
Thank you. Yeah, very much.
This is what we do, man. We do this.
I
We
hope
have a-
you find something. I know you're not looking. You bought the
I
3 shares,
know.
but
I
I hope
hope
you
you get
find
a
something
deal.
else. I mean, that's
Sure.
cool. That's
we
good
can
enough.
wish.
I mean, that's
listen,
freaking great.
we can wish a good deal on someone. That's best of both worlds.
I can wish a good deal on. Well, it sounds like you already got 2 good deals. The book, you got a freaking $5 pair of Neil Peart signature drumsticks.
Right. Yeah.
Man, I'm following him
You're
around.
already ahead.
I'm following him around.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the
All
show,
right.
man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
meet
I
you, brother.
appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks.
You can just set him on the chair there. Yeah, that's good.
I think
that's
that's
usually better.
What's your
That's
name?
probably Shawn.
Mark.
Mark. Nice to meet
Adam.
you, brother.
Adam. Yeah, Mark. Thanks, man.
Mark from
Anytime,
Pittsburgh. All right.
Go Steelers.
Yeah, man. Well, pleasure to meet you. I'm Adam.
I'm Sean Kennedy.
I'm Sean Grawl.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
SHAWN.
We
S-E-A-N.
100%. Uh-oh. There's going to be a battle on the couch. Battle of the Shawns. No, it's funny because I see your stuff all the time.
Oh, really?
Because the shop, you must follow the shop and we followed you back or
Oh,
something.
you're out in like Harrisburg area.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
I got
We're Lancaster.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. What
Yeah.
a small world.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was like, wait a minute. And Sean's like, yeah, he's going to get a book. And I was like, I see him play regularly. I see all your
Yeah,
video stuff. So
thank
you're
you.
doing a lot of great educational stuff in
Yeah.
addition to the gigging and touring and,
Yeah.
and working. You're
Yeah.
out there working,
And
man.
with social media, it is a small world.
Right.
Because I recognize you too. I'm like, I know him. Does he come in? Like, oh, I see you online. I'm like, okay, I get it now. So that has, tightened up our community a little bit.
Oh, sure,
you know?
right.
It really has.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you've got a book, man.
I do.
Let's talk about it.
This is my new one. It's
Let's
called
do it.
Oodles of Accents. Where am I? There I am.
Yeah, the camera's there.
Oh, hey.
There you go.
Hey, Cameron. Yeah, it's called Oodles of Accents. It is, what I started to do is I started to wonder about a year and a half ago, how many permutations of accents can you have in a measure of 12/8?
Oh, I see.
And I was like, there has to be a finite number. So
Sure. It's like a math problem.
Yeah, so that's what it became. And there's 4,092 options.
Wow.
Of accents with no rests. I was going to do something with rests and accents.
Yeah.
But that number was well over 5 million.
That's a different.
Jeez. I was
That's
gonna
a
say
that's
that-
a
that
series.
multiplies it out, multiplies it out.
And I'm like, that's a little excessive, but I was able to narrow it down, and I got it to about 197 pages. It's every permutation
Dude, that's
of
awesome.
accents. Yeah. So I got a lot of great endorsements from it. Clayton Cameron's right on the front cover.
Nice.
Dr. Sherry Maracle. Daniel Glass, who's right over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wondered that. I knew he was going to be here. That's cool.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of the top players really giving me some nice comments about it, and it's selling pretty well. It's on Amazon, and I'm selling it at Pocket Percussion in Willow Grove, too.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, we were just talking with Pocket. those
Okay,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
very cool.
about 15 minutes from those guys, so I hang out
that's
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Brad, they got a cool shop.
Oh, yeah, it's
they got a really
beautiful.
cool shop. We were talking. We're actually going to be doing a different like kind of like segment kind of thing for the shop. And Drums Etc. goes too, and they were the first
Oh.
ones to raise their hands like, yeah, come to the shop.
Oh, that'd
so
be
like we'll
great.
visit other
Yeah.
drum shops because it's such a different world. It's not like me versus you cutthroat. It's like there's so many things equalizing that local drum shops need to band together. So
Oh, yeah.
we want to do tons of that kind of contest. We're going to be up your way
Great.
when we do that. So,
Oh, sweet.
yeah.
I'll have to pay attention and see if you... are you going to give us a heads up so I know you're going to be there? or-
Yeah, I mean, the guys at Pocket will know before we show up. We're
Great.
not going to just spring it on them. So
Hey,
they'll be able
here
to
we
let you know. Yeah. Surprise! And they're like, no, we just got a big shipment in, and like we just sold our cool drum sets, No, we know better than that. But very cool. Well, that's awesome that you got that book, man. It's so funny because there's tons and tons of books. And when you hear pitches of the new books and stuff, there's like some that are like, oh, that's really useful, and some that are not. And like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it like outsources the need for like the grind of figuring things out, and you can just jump into like trying different things.
That's what the point of this is. And one of my practice techniques I've told people is, like, what's your birthday? So if you're, whatever, April 15th,
Yep.
go to 4:15 in the book and do that exercise that day.
That's
Oh,
cool.
neat.
And then if
Yeah.
you're like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's 12:15. Let me do 12:15 right now. So it's not it's like kind of like a stick control. You can open
Yeah.
any page and just dig in.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
then there's obviously changing up the sound source and doing different
Oh,
things.
yeah.
You can totally like workshop it and use the same concept and just spread it around the kit if you're a kit player. So it's
yeah,
very
just
cool.
like a stick control. You could take exercise number 8 in stick control, put it on a pad, put it on a snare, start doing cymbal. You'll never be finished with that
That's
exercise.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, since you're an avid practicer, which is not everyone that we talk to. Some people
Right.
are just like, no, I just sit down and play the same old song, or whatever. But what's your go-to setup for practice? Or do you have an acoustic drum set up that you can play? Because I know a lot of folks, depending on where they live, they can't necessarily have that luxury. But you have an acoustic set?
I do, and it's usually set up. And my son and I share the studio at my house. He's a drummer as well, and has a rock band. He's right there.
There he is.
They're going on tour this summer, actually. His rock
Oh,
band.
well, we're talking to you next.
Okay, you're going to talk next. But yeah, we have a bunch of sets in the house, and I always have a pad and a snare set up.
Got it.
So my go-to is walk in, stand up,
Yep.
chop out on some Will Coxon, do some of this stuff,
Okay.
all that, keep my hands in shape, and
Yep.
then when I can get it the full set, I do that next. But every day I'm on a pad, at
Awesome.
least.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. We had we doing these master classes, which I should talk to you about that.
Oh,
we're
I'd
doing
love it.
master classes at the shop, so
I'd love it.
We'll connect for sure. But we were doing one every month this year in 2024, at least one
Great.
a month. And we just did one with local educator Palmer at our shop, and we had a couple kits set up to do some things. It was about creativity and sparking new ideas and drum fills and applying rudiments and stuff. But in addition to that, we had a bunch of practice pads set up at thrones and stuff. And that chop out exercise and things, so many people were like, oh, what's this? Like, I'm just here to watch or whatever, But that, I saw so many light bulbs go off, how simple that can be. So there's something about breaking it down to sitting in front of your pad and working out and doing different things that can really it seems like you're being less creative, but it opens up your creativity and your thought process.
Yeah.
So it's really useful.
Right. My buddy Kevin Lehman, he's the PAS president in Colorado.
Okay.
He has, I forget, he calls them pad jams.
Oh,
once a month.
That's cool.
And they go into a shop, and everyone
Yeah.
brings their pad,
Yeah.
and they'll go through some exercises. And
Oh, very cool.
I could do you could bring exercises. It's very it's very user friendly type of stuff.
That's cool.
And speaking of PAS, if I can do a plug,
Let's do it.
March 4th,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania Percussive Arts Society, we are opening up a contest for
okay.
21 and under.
Okay.
There's 2 categories, 18 to 21 and then under 18. It's a snare drum contest and lots
Cool.
of big prizes.
Yeah.
Vic Firth has already contributed, Canopus Drums, etc. So that's going to go out March 4th. and I'll blast it all over social media.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll see that. We'll put it out there as well
Yeah,
on ours,
so
man.
that's
for sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we got to talk about this upcoming tour.
Yeah,
come on,
Aiden,
come
why
around,
don't you come over?
around.
You want me to get up, or you want him to sit there?
Sit
Okay,
down.
great.
Sit down.
You sit here.
You sit there. Put some headphones on. You got to speak kind of close to the mic, just because there's a little bit of background noise.
There we go. Now I got it.
But yeah, get
just
real
pull that
close,
up.
real close. Put it right up to your mouth there. And yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself, and then I want to hear about this band and this upcoming tour. We'll plug it. People can go see you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Aiden Kennedy. Yeah, I'm in a band, Steal the Night.
Okay, get a little closer there.
That better?
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Nice podcast voice.
That's right.
Very close.
This is my dad. So yeah, I'm in a band called Steal the Night. It's kind of 80s inspired, I guess you could say.
Cool.
Rock music.
Nice.
metal.
Is it covers or is it original?
All originals? Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's rad. That's really refreshing to hear because not a lot of people are doing that.
We'll throw covers in here and there.
Of course. You got to have a couple crowd pleasers. I mean,
Right.
I just played an original country band last night, and Sweet Caroline snuck in there again.
Yeah.
It snuck in there
Can't
again.
lose with that. It always wins.
There's that, Country Roads, and another one that made that list of it's always will bring people out.
Yeah.
I saw a band play the other night, and Love Shack.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Come on.
Electric in the room.
Right.
Electric in the room. So you got to have that and mix that into other things.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. So how is it regional? Are you going all over the country? Like what's the tour?
I think we're doing Florida,
Okay.
Nashville,
Cool.
somewhere in Texas, Arizona, LA.
Oh, gotcha, that loop.
Yeah, and then back through we're gonna hit Colorado. We got a gig there. So
That's great,
so
man.
I gotta get all the exact details.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. People can look at where can they look you up? Is your social media handles all like the band name?
Yeah, Steal the Night, Instagram, Facebook. Where else?
And is that Night N or KN?
STAL. The
Oh.
Night.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad we went through it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Oh,
Awesome,
yeah.
man. Well, thanks for stopping in, guys. And,
For sure.
Yeah,
and check out
pleasure.
his book. Check out the band. This is such a cool thing
Yeah.
that we're doing here,
Yeah.
and we're super excited to be able to offer something different at a drum show.
This is great.
You know what I mean? It's like we were like we could load up the car with drums, but I'm like, no, let's do this and like talk to people, help some people get the word out about what they're doing. So
Yeah.
it's very cool.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks,
Great.
guys.
Thank you
All
for
right,
having
thank
us.
you.
So I'm glad you did this. I was certainly not the one to convince you because I tried to force you to do this earlier and you resisted. So thank you for coming around.
you
I don't
came
know
around.
I don't know who's responsible, but thank you for convincing this special guest. So if you could introduce yourself and then let's talk, man, because this vibe, the drum show thing, has been around for quite a long time, and you've been a part of it.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay, my name is Mike Cairo. In the early 90s, I had a place in Bethesda, Maryland called the Drum Cellar.
Nice.
Very cool.
And
I see what you did there with the word cellar and then cellar.
and I was on the second floor. You go figure. Little oxymoron. So by 91, I had a very good friend of mine who was into vintage guitars.
Okay.
And by the 90s, there were zillions of vintage drum shows all over the country. And I thought, hey, Mike, why not put a vintage drum show together?
Yeah.
So I did. And it was called the Washington Area Drum Swap. So it was ostensibly.
Nice. Drum swap. Oh yeah, you got the shirt. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
here we go.
Dude.
And I invited Rick King, King Louie, Jack Lawton, Louis Bernstein,
Yep.
some of the big players that came down. Jack Lawton, the year after, started his show that
Yep.
you're quite familiar with.
We are now. Yep.
Yes. And then I did it for one more year and 2 more years, and then I just got out of it, and I do real estate in Washington
Yeah.
as a realtor. And I've got a few things up on stage that are here on consignment.
Oh yeah, what is it?
What are you selling?
Well, we have a late 50s Slingerland Capri Pearl.
Oh, are you serious? Shawn, we got it.
Yeah, I own a Capri Pearl set too. I have a whole set, yeah.
We're suckers for Capri.
Yeah.
I love this. I love them myself. I have a 2216 and 8x12 and a matching 3-point strainer, Radio King snare, 8
Yeah,
lugs.
baby.
Woo.
That's the
And
real
can we
deal.
ask the price on that?
You'll have to go up and find
All
out.
right,
No,
I'll put out, yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah. Or best offer.
Sure.
I've been offered $700 for the snare drum. I'm trying to sell it as a whole set.
Yeah, it's nice to keep those things kind of together, especially with more rare finishes. I agree with that. That makes sense. It's kind of nice to keep it.
Well, they all look like they're together. You know, there's a large division of Capri pearls.
Yes, there's like big dots, small dots spread apart real close. There's a lot of variation there.
I either call them confetti or baby's breath.
Oh, that's a great way.
Florets, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also have a early 60s, pretty rare cocktail drum.
Okay.
In Capri.
Oh, are you serious?
I'm not. Yes, I am. And no, I'm just joking.
I take it all back. This
I'm
is all a
pulling your
ruse.
leg. So this is what I call faded. So like Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze.
Got it.
And then for the last piece I have up there is a 1920s Barry snare drum piccolo that would fit into the folding bass drum and have enough room. So those are the three items I have on consignment. Come on up and give me an offer.
I saw you walk in with that Capri because this is my drum set. You know, that's it. This is mine on my Instagram page. So I immediately go to that because I own a Capri Pearl. So I was like, wow. I was like, somebody else has a Capri Pearl.
Yep.
You rarely see them.
Yeah.
They are not, you just can't go down to your 5 and dime or your local music store and say, let me see your collection and selection of Capri Pearls. They really don't exist. They didn't make a lot of them, unlike the white marine pearls.
Right.
That just tons of them. They're all out there.
Yep.
So I've always had a special place in my heart for Capri Pearls, as I see, sir, you have.
Yeah.
Very
I'm going to
nice.
go up and check yours out. This is great.
I know, and you've got what, the 2012,
2012, 14.
So you see, these would be the other sizes.
Right.
Just saying. Just saying.
Well, you know, we should talk because I have some other Capris stashed back at the house down in the Washington metropolitan D.C. area.
All right. Gotcha. Yeah, not too far.
I have a 20-inch kick. I have a 22 single lug bass drum in Capri.
Like a club date.
Yeah. Speaking of club dates, I have a mid-60s Silver Sparkle Ludwig set.
I love Silver Sparkle.
14 by 14.
That's just so classic.
8 by 12 and a matching snare. And guess who signed the interior of it?
Here we go.
None other than William F. Ludwig Jr.
Oh boy.
That's cool.
By the way,
really cool.
as part of the drum cellar, I had William F. Ludwig come down into the Twist and Shout Club in Bethesda, where I put the first show on. But also, I had him come down and do the history of percussion. I have that on videotape as well.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
You need to upload this. That would be great. We can put anything we can on YouTube now. Put that out there for people to see.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah.
That would be
awesome.
You'd be.
Yeah. You might go viral.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. And then you go around, you go to the drum show. That would be so cool to have a screening of it at the drum show or something. That would be special.
I'll talk to Joe.
Yeah.
There was a couple of presidential drummers from the White House that came up with their White House marching snares. And there's William F. Ludwig Jr. flanked by two of these big boy Marine guys. I mean, they're built, and they did 3 camps. I have that on. And then I also have Brooks Tegler, who is out of the Washington area, who's also the Radio King guru.
Got it.
And he has got a great radio voice. And William F. Ludwig Jr. brought all of the side effects or the sound effects that he brought. And he demonstrated the sound effects for everyone. And as part of it, there was an old kind of radio show. Apparently Brooks's father was a radio announcer. And Brooks Tegler of Brooks Tegler and his big band, oh my God, what a great drummer. But he did a voiceover with William F. Ludwig Jr. as well. So this is from 1992 or 3.
Brought that good radio voice. He identified it immediately. He's like, I need that voice. You know?
Oh, Brooks has got a great voice for radio.
Yeah. I always, it's funny because we didn't ever do anything like this until last year. We started our podcast.
Really?
And so I wasn't used to hearing myself talk. So now I'm on videos and doing this and doing that, you know what I mean? And now it's over.
You're used to it.
I can safely say that once you hear yourself enough, it's no longer weird.
Yeah.
And I've had singers go over that too when they're recording too. They have that initial fear of like hearing themselves. They don't like the feedback. And eventually you just get past it. But that's a really special video, man. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I'd love to see it too. I'm going to have to dig it out of the archives.
Dig it out.
Dig it out.
And upload it on YouTube. And and I think a lot of people are going to dig that.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I'll take that into consideration. Listen, I don't know. What else? Do you guys have any questions for me?
No. We just wanted to gab with you a little bit.
Yeah.
If you were down to hang out, we got some questions. But
now, this is the drum shirt, vintage drum shirt. It still fits you, I see. That's good. Now, from
great.
1991, and you're still wearing it. That's freaking rad. Who are you playing with? Any bands right now?
No, I'm not performing at all. I like playing drums. I like looking at them. I like collecting them.
Yeah.
I actually like to play boogie woogie piano as my go-to instrument. But yeah, this was I made about 20 shirts. I gave them to a lot of the volunteers that helped me that day.
Sure.
Out in the parking lot, in the show.
Yeah.
And then I sold them, and this is the last one, I believe. And I only wear it whenever I go to a drum show. I used to wear it when I went to Jack Lawton's drum show.
Well, I saw you and I spotted that from across the room, and I was like, what is that? I love that swap. I love it. It gets your attention, man. It really does. It really does.
It's like Tradio.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been a lot of fun to chat with. Thanks for inviting me up.
You're very welcome.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
And we were talking about stuff. I saw the shirt, and I was like, we got to gab. So thank you so much, man. I was like reeling you in. My invisible rope broke the first time, and I had to get a reinforced one to really
reconsidered,
coax you in.
Well, you guys compelled me.
Yes.
I had a little encouragement from some folks out in the area.
Well, once you saw how much fun everyone was having, you're like, oh, come on, I got to be a part of this.
Hey, if people are having fun, sign me up. I'm there.
That's it. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, brother. Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Drum Key Podcast. You made it.
Yes.
You only had to drive the Hoy to Delaware
We did.
to talk to local drummers. That's what we do. We make our people wait. No, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you for coming to the Delaware Drum Show and checking it out. If you could quick introduce yourself and who you're playing with. We're getting that from everybody.
Okay. I'm Deb Olson, and I'm with Steel Radiance, an all-female band.
Awesome. Out of Lancaster?
Out of Lancaster.
Extra Pennsylvania?
Yep, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I'm Michelle Rivers from Marietta, Pennsylvania, just starting out on my journey the first year, and I'm looking up to this young lady sitting beside me who let me play with Steel Radiance the other night, so
Awesome.
I appreciate her.
Awesome. You sat in?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have a go-to song?
Honky Tonk Woman, Rolling
There you
Stones.
go. I've seen you play it. You kill it. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, had you guys been to a drum show before our show?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
You've been to Delaware
I've been
before?
to Delaware before,
Okay.
and I think that's about it, really. I came here a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's a really cool vibe. It's relatively new to the drum shop, to Drums Etc. Shawn and I were talking about it, and we're just like, we should be part of this. This is our kind of scene and what we can do.
Absolutely.
So it's one of the things that we're doing that's kind of new for us. And then one thing led to another, talking with Jack Lawton about coming to a show, and then he said he was going to end the show, and I was like, oh, wow, well, you know what? If you ever have any advice, it wasn't even like, I'll take over your show. No. I was like, we might do a show in the future, maybe a Lancaster drum show, something smaller.
Yeah.
You know, if you have any advice, let me know. And then he got back to me and he's like, hey man, you could totally do this. And like, we'll give you a PA drum show and you can continue the legacy. And I was like, that is such an honor.
Yeah.
And he's here today
Yes.
and he comes to our show and like just continuing that journey is awesome.
Yeah.
We love it.
I'll tell you what, your show's going to take off. It did take off that first year, and it's gonna do great. I think it's gonna be even better than this show.
Yeah, there's a
Eventually.
lot of stuff that goes into it, and
Yeah.
we were shocked. I mean, you knew, like, we had a line out front. We weren't expecting people. We were like,
know.
we don't know if this
Beautiful.
is going to work, and like 700 people showed up, and we're like, it's going to work.
I know.
But what do we do?
Absolutely.
And with this show, it's only my second show, but I just met Bernard Purdy, so I can go
So
home
cool.
happy now.
I know.
David from the Hooters, a
David
friend of
from
mine.
Hooters.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm so happy. You know, it's just great people here. Great people.
I know. And
Yep.
the drumming community is like actually really tight. And within that drumming community, there's also like this drum show community I've come to realize,
Yes.
which like
Yes.
really accepted us as Drums Etc. We're like who's this store? You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of that like in the beginning, but it's like no, like they're just drummers like us. Welcome, guys. And I got advice from Joe Meckler, the guy who runs this show, and Jack, who ran the PA show, and it was just like, okay, just take the best ideas from everyone and
Absolutely.
and go
It's
with
been
it.
wonderful. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. There's 3 big elements to drum shows. There's the gear, the stuff, this part. Now there's podcasting. There's 4, apparently. There's the gear, there's buying gear, there's selling gear, and then there's also clinics and clinicians and stuff like that.
Yes.
In addition to meet and greets. What do you guys look for in this experience? What are you excited about?
I get excited about the clinics because if I can pick up one little thing, it helps. I mean, it just matters to me. So that was the first thing we shot over here and went to the first show.
Yeah.
And we're going to Bernard, and then I'll walk around, and then that's my second thing is looking at the gear and all that stuff. But
very
that's,
cool.
that's my thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to learn.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I would just say in the first year like this, I'm a sponge, so I'm just taking everything in.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely agree with Deb. I'd say the clinics because we just got some great websites that we can go to and just some great information. I'm taking notes in there, so I'm just loving it.
It's awesome, and it just you build upon it. And in addition to building upon like the education and like the information that you get that's different every year, even if it's the same clinician, you get different information every year and little tidbits.
Yeah.
You also start to recognize people. Isn't it freaky?
Yes.
Like you're looking around, you're like, oh, I know them and them and them and them and them.
These are my people.
This is what happens. You're like, oh, there's Adam and Shawn talking on the cat. What the heck is Drums Etc. doing? It's like all these people just have like stacks of drums everywhere, and there's like, what's up with showbiz in the corner? It's like, it's Adam and Shawn just being punk rock and doing something a little different.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
And just walking in here and hearing this, it's like, ooh, I get so excited to even hear everything around you. But like I said, we went right back to the back here and went to the first clinic. We're heading to the second.
That's awesome.
So,
That's very cool.
yeah.
I know you're into clinics, but do you guys, this isn't me trying to sell you something, I promise. We didn't bring much to sell anyway. But did you guys walk in with money? Are you planning on or looking for anything gear-wise?
Actually, I was going to get that other symbol that Pat had that matches the one I got.
Yep.
So I don't know if he sold it or not, but we were in a hurry to get back there to have a seat. And
because I was talking to him earlier, and he said that that's basically one of two that exists.
Yeah.
I know.
So I was like,
that.
are you like? I didn't ask him, but I was like, are you willing to sell this even? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like his promo tool.
Yeah.
I was also talking last night with Ed Toth of the Doobie Brothers. People know Ed Toth, the Doobie Brothers. He's actually local to Drums Etc. We're his local drum shop somehow. That's so cool. But I was talking to him, and he was talking about his cymbal cart. Pat has this like cymbal storage system, little cart on wheels, because every drummer has a bunch of cymbals. They accumulate. This is going to happen to you. Don't worry.
I know,
You're going to
already.
accumulate cymbals. It will become an
Already.
addiction, and then you have nowhere to put them. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
But he said this is the only one I have, and he's talking about production got pushed back. So I'm like, well, Ed wants one. He's like, well, if Ed wants this one, he's hanging out to the end. I'll sell it to him. So you might have a chance at that cymbal.
I know.
You might have a chance at that cymbal.
I just might get it.
It's
Had
real
her
nice
eye
and
on it.
controlled.
But
It's,
I was gonna say, but yeah, I mean, we just started walking around, but yeah, I look for different little things. I don't know. Just there's so much to look at.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's just crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to look at and a lot to hear, and it's absolutely nutty.
Yeah,
It's crazy. When you consider you come into Drums Etc. and there's a couple people there, sometimes it's hopping, but
Yeah. This
our
is
wall
hopping.
our wall might fall down. I'm sorry, I keep side-eyeing this wall because it keeps moving. I think someone's moving cymbals behind it. But this is actually hopping. It's absolutely insane.
Oh, it's
fabulous.
Great. It's great.
It's
Yeah.
fabulous.
And
It's
I did want
overloaded
to come
in a good
last
way.
night. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said it's overloaded in a good way.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's overwhelming. We'll all sleep well tonight, just purely based on the amount of social interaction going on in this room.
Yeah. Well, and all those little clinics that you're doing.
Yeah, master classes all year.
Masterclasses.
Yep.
I really wanted to be at that one last night, but we went out to dinner for our anniversary, so I couldn't be there. But
It's okay.
I have plans to come to some of these other ones. But that's great that you're having that.
Yeah,
there.
master classes. They're all
Master
different.
classes.
Some about maintenance. Some I did a basic one that you came to, just
Yeah.
about just drum setup. It was
Yeah.
mostly like an entry level crowd. So I knew you probably knew a lot of that. Like there were certain drummers in the room. You're like, okay, you know how to like set up your drums.
Yeah.
But I think that there's an important thing there's important steps in there that get missed, and you might know 80% of it, but that 20% is going to be something that changes how you set up every single time you sit behind your drum set.
Yes.
So it's important. So we do stuff like that. Jack Lawton, who started speaking of drum shows, who started the PA Drum Show, he's here today. He's the next one in March.
Oh, okay.
And he's big into the vintage drum. He's into this world, right?
Oh, okay.
So he's doing one about rewrapping drums and like he's gonna bring presses and tools. Like it's very like hands-on. Like
Hands-on.
here's how drums are made and built and stuff. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a cool one.
Interesting, yeah.
Really, definitely one where we're all just gonna like watch him,
Watch
like
him.
and be like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But
I really think you could be 500 years old. I mean, the first thing I'm seeing is there's always something to learn. I mean, I don't
Absolutely.
think you have it totally, you know. It's
Yep.
just always
yeah.
something
Yeah.
to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's great.
Love it.
Love it so much.
thanks for being here.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
stopping in. I'll let you look around.
you,
I don't want to
Adam.
take up any more of your time, but thanks
Okay.
for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it. Thanks,
Adam.
Adam.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
What's up,
All right.
gentlemen?
Hello, I'm
Welcome.
Shawn Groff. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Luke.
Luke, Adam Steck,
Chuck-
nice to
Chuck
meet you.
Levins,
Nice to meet
okay.
you. Chuck Levins, yeah, oh yeah, he's here. And
That's
they brought
beautiful.
tons of stuff.
Yeah,
you guys
buddy.
bring a trailer?
No, just a van. Just a van.
You got a lot of stuff over there, man.
We brought a trailer last year. We brought snares, kits, everything.
Yeah.
But
Now,
this
you stuck
year,
to the stuff that works and sells, right?
that's right. Yeah.
And
so
I noticed you had like drum heads and different stuff. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah.
a minute.
That's cool.
Does that possible at a drum show? That's cool that you sell some of that stuff, though, right?
Yeah, we figured if you're buying a vintage drum, it might have vintage heads, and you might want to switch those out, put some fresh ambassador coated on top, maybe a hazy on the bottom.
And that's what I always say too. I'm like, not everyone that is coming here is ready to spend hundreds of dollars on a vintage set.
That's right.
But you know what? You might want to buy a drum head.
Yeah.
So,
Or a bag.
Yeah.
You know,
and
we-
not
yeah.
everybody lives close to a drum shop either. or
Very-
a music store.
Very true. Yeah.
So this is their opportunity. This is basically coming to a drum shop.
And you can try to figure out what people want, but
Sure.
every year
Sure.
they're like, hey, do you have any cymbal bags? Oh, we didn't bring any cymbal bags.
It's the worst. Hey, we deal with that at the shop anyway. Someone will come in and ask for that one drum head we're sold out of, and we have 400 other options. We're like,
Exactly.
nah, I'd rather wait for that one. We're like, okay, we'll get it in for you. You deal with that, I'm sure, right?
Of
so
of course.
are you working front counter at the shop?
I'm
you're
in
the
the
front
drum
lines?
counter. Oh yeah.
Front lines,
Yep,
baby.
sales.
Oh yeah, welcome.
Got to think on
we
your
can
feet.
relate,
Someone
man.
brings,
We can
a
absolutely
snare
relate.
drum in with all kinds of issues. You need to be able to solve that
Yes.
Grab this
in a
straw,
timely
pop
fashion.
this
Yep.
in, do this, do that. Yeah,
Exactly.
But
But
it's fun.
that's why people come into the store, because you can't get that stuff done online.
Sure.
So it's good to keep it alive a little bit.
Yeah, man, you got that skill set. You got that Navy SEAL skill set.
Yeah, that's-
that you need to bust out.
It gets
hey, we gotta
close.
give props. We gotta give props to other folks doing what we're doing. Not to build ourselves up, but just to bring awareness to the fact that those services that we offer up are super important.
Yeah, and
They really
we
are.
don't even always charge if it's a simple repair. If you just need a snare head change,
Yeah.
we'll help you out. We'll give you some tips. As long as you're buying
That's-
the head from us.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's so valuable to do that sometimes, and it means so much more than charging $5 just to
Yes.
do it.
Right.
Just pop the head on, fix it, and they're like, I don't owe you for anything. You're like, dude, no.
Yeah, and a lot of the times I'll be going on Reddit threads and just various forums. The majority of people aren't drum professionals.
Right.
The majority of people playing drums are people that are, into it as a hobby.
Yep.
They might not know every little detail.
Sure.
So just trying to, bring them into the world and
Yeah, and
be
just kind of
nice.
being there and to guide them along their journey.
I still
Exactly.
find people that don't know that their snare drum has a throw off.
Right.
Doesn't
know
that
what I
shock
mean?
you? You're going to the details between different plies of drum heads with them or whatever, and there's yeah, but what does this do? And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I
Do-
did not assess the situation properly.
Do I have to tune the bottom head?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you do. But,
How important is that? Very important.
out of sight, out of mind sometimes. When you buy a drum set used or something and you put it in your garage, you're like, okay, this is it. This is the end all be all.
Right.
When, there's a
You
lot
got to
more.
maintain it, baby. You got to that maintenance is so very important. You got to do your tweaks. You got to tune it up. You got to play it. A drum wants to be played.
Exactly.
People don't realize that, but a drum wants to be played.
And I equate it to sometimes when I bring my car into the shop, I don't know everything about what's
Sure.
going on. So
okay.
I can relate.
I use that analogy often too.
Yeah, we have to meet you halfway. We can't.
Yeah.
Can you change your own oil? Sure you can.
Right.
But do you want to?
Exactly.
No.
No, you put the snare wires on, Shawn.
Yeah. I'll gladly do it for
And
$5.
It's funny though, because people are sometimes scared almost. They're like, I want to, but I'm just scared. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It sounds bad for 30
Sure.
minutes, and then you take the time to.
It's
work
funny.
out.
It's funny when I start cranking up a snare drum. Some people's
Yeah.
eyes get real big, like, I'm going to break this thing. I was like,
Right.
no, man, you want to crank this thing up.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, you hear like the glue cracking in the head a little
Yeah,
bit.
they're like-
yeah. I just did a master class in January on the basic stuff, like setup, ergonomics, stuff like that, tuning. And I literally started out by saying, drums are not complicated. They're
Right.
not car engines. That's
Exactly.
literally the analogy. I started with a car analogy immediately and then harken back to it. I love a callback. Love a callback. I'm calling back to something that happened in January.
I
it's
dig
it's
it.
another callback. But no, but
You
I
have a
started with
callback
that.
bell?
And I have a callback bell.
Oh my gosh.
That bell serves many purposes.
Yeah, this bell serves all sorts of purposes.
But it never gets him service. No one ever shows up to bring him something.
Well, I'm here. What do you need?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you hear the bell, come running. No,
I need a drum
no,
head.
but you know, and a lot of times I was like, I don't want you to be scared about any of this.
Yes.
So I stripped a lug off of something and pulled tension rods out and did different things. I was like, this is an insert, this is this is this. That's it.
Yeah.
This drum set is 40 parts.
Right.
It's not 5,000, and there's no meters or oils or dials or gauges. It's like, no, it's relatively simple.
And if something does break, you can go to your local drum shop, get it fixed. You know, it's a learning opportunity.
Yeah, and if you do that, as you kind of build up your repertoire and the longer you play, you'll get more confident with it.
For sure.
Very cool. So, is there anything else you want to plug? What else are you guys doing over there? I
Yeah.
mean, we talked about the standard stuff. What you got? Anything crazy over there?
Yeah, so in March we have a couple events. Turkish cymbals, we just took those in, so we're doing some demo pricing and some special sales. We have an indoor C local legend buggy coming playing, doing a little clinic.
Oh, nice.
We also have a snare tune-up day coming
you
up.
go.
Yeah, so you can bring your snare drum in. I believe that's one of the Saturdays in March.
That's such a great idea.
And then we're gonna, we can help you out, change the heads for you, give you some
Yep.
tips.
Yeah, man.
And we're also
taking
doing
it.
a big DW and Latin percussion sale next month in April. So
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. Man, we need to band together. We were talking about going to visit other drum shops and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and we'll definitely make it out.
Sure
But
thing.
it's fun. The drum shop world, man. We got to stick together, like local drum shops, brother.
100%.
This is it. We're here. Believe it or not, they're not exchanging punches.
No.
This is not how the world works anymore.
We're very friendly.
We're very friendly
friendly.
people, and we're going to refer you to go. Oh, we don't have it. Go check out Chuck Levin.
we do the same,
That's it.
100%.
That's what we do. That's what we do. But yeah, dude, thanks for stopping in,
Thanks
bro.
for having me. I'm gonna go check out the rest of the show. There should be some
Yes,
fun
sir,
stuff.
dude.
Oh yeah, be
Get it
careful.
in.
Watch your
Yeah.
wallet.
Yeah, watch your wallet.
Check. Shawn's laying on the couch.
I'm not laying. Check one.
You were leaning.
Wallet. My wallet is
Sitting on your wallet.
Yeah.
All right, so we're partway through the day. Delaware Drum Show, about halfway through, I think, right?
Yep,
About
halfway through.
Something like that. Had a lot of great guests so far. Just doing
I'm
a quick.
coming over here.
You're coming over here? Yeah, get over here.
Heck,
You could be. This is what it's like to be a guest.
Yeah.
You're closer to me. But partway through the day, we've had a lot of great guests, had a lot of conversations off mic. Some people don't want to be pop on mic. I get it. It's cool. But the good thing is that it's really low pressure. We get it. We didn't do this for years. This freaked us out when we first started
At
too.
first,
So
yeah.
seeing the lights and seeing all this going on here
Oh,
at the
there's
show
Gabe.
is definitely a lot. But we'll pull in. Yeah, we'll pull in Gabe. Oh, he's coming.
Yeah,
he's
he's coming.
moseying.
Yeah.
Gabe Stasnik
Yeah.
is moseying over here.
moseying over.
He's moseying.
See
Make
ya.
eye contact.
Eye contact.
Make eye contact. Gabe. Turn around, Gabe. Turn around. Wait for it. He's close. He's within 6 feet of me. If I laid down, if I reached out, I could touch him. But he's still not looking in this direction. He's looking at pedals. You don't need another one of those, Gabe. You got like 4 of those. Look at this pedal over here. I mock out of love because it's really funny to kind of pantomime people. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different pedals, and that one's somewhere in that tier. It's not low end, it's not high end, but it's nice and clean. It's nice and clean. Oh, his friend just alerted him that we're staring at him. Come over here. He's coming.
Good.
He's coming. He'll be over.
Get the headphones ready.
I have them. They weren't ready though. Good call. They were not prepared. All right, we made eye contact. So that means it's happening. He did give me the head nod that it is happening. But so far so good, man. This is super fun.
It really is. It was such a good idea to do this.
Like this is an absolute blast. Oh, Bernard just let out, man. So we got to see if we got. You want to pop on the show? Come on. All right. Pause on Gabe Stasnik. We got another contender here. Come on down. Have a seat, man. Have a seat. Yeah, pop. Have a seat. Whoa. Keep the couch here. There we go. You're good. You're good. All right, and I'll give you these headphones to put on first, and then we'll scoot that mic. There you go. Now you can hear. Scoot that
My
mic
brother.
right in there, and keep it close. Keep it close because there's.
it. Yep.
I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of background noise.
Yes, and lighting.
In this place, but cool. Introduce yourself, man. Welcome to the show. You've been gabbing with Mark up here for a while, talking drums, right?
You got it. Yes, my name is Armando Santiago, a.k.a. Mono Percussion. Oh, yeah, I got to keep it closer. Sorry.
It would
I
just turn.
apologize.
There you go. There you go. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've been here coming the last few shows. I
Yeah.
love how you guys are here now. It's been nice to see you guys have a setup for a podcast. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to see a setup like this live.
That's what we're doing. That's how we do it, man.
This is great to see. I mean, and I love, like, you know, with everybody here.
Oh,
We got
there's
Pat
so much
Petrillo,
going on, man.
Bernard Pretty Purdy.
Absolutely. It's
And-
so cool.
And I, you know, Mr. John Crocken over here with his JC drumsticks.
Yes, sir.
Old
Yeah.
school, vintage style, Charles Soisman drumsticks, which is great. I mean,
Where are you from?
So I'm from Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
I came with my
Cool.
buddy Robbie Wernz.
Robbie?
His dad was my actual drum inspiration.
Oh,
he drummed
wow.
one time, Windsor Elementary, 4th grade assembly. I watched him on a old rope drum play.
Oh,
I said,
wow.
I want to do that. And my
That's
dad's
it.
a trombone player.
That's awesome. That was a rope drum, too.
Yeah, and
That's
the thing
rad.
is, it's a big, like, 16 by 18, whatever it is.
Oh,
like,
huge drum.
Yeah, it's a
Big old drum,
I'm pretty sure
man.
it was a Cooperman.
That's
And-
cool.
and
That's
it was-
really cool.
What's cool about it is just hearing that nice low pitch, but it's like resonant.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, I gotta go home and tell
And
my
that
parents.
Yes.
Hooked you. Yeah, absolutely, for life. That was in 1994, guys.
Okay.
94.
There you go.
Did you play in the school band?
Luckily, I did. I played with Robbie
Good.
And our friends over at Seven River and Broadneck High School.
So did you start out
Nice.
on maybe a snare drum, or did you get a kit almost immediately?
For me, I was always snare. Like,
Okay.
and
Yep,
then I went
that's
from
it.
playing snare drum to mallets and then to timpani.
Oh, wow,
Timpani's now
yeah.
been my main instrument. So
Very cool.
What I like about the timpani is that it's almost like tenor drums, like in drum corps. So
Yeah.
like
Sure is.
you can like do the crossover stuff. You can do some
Oh,
weird stuff
yeah.
with the kettle drum.
Yeah.
And what was
For
nice,
sure, man.
And what's nice is like trying to figure out like, okay, how can I apply this here with the snare drum to a drum set? So that's what I've been doing the last 5 years.
Dude, that's awesome. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When you play drums, I mean, I guess you got the snare work in there too, but I play French grip, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, like that's natural for me, but there's very few people playing that. What do you feel most comfortable when you're playing the kit? Because you obviously got the snare thing. You probably have a little traditional with the rope drum kind of influence, right?
I do that, but
Do
I
you
also
swap it out?
But I also have a if you guys have a drumstick around, I can show you. There's a thing called a Walter grip. It's pretty much a Gale grip.
Grab a drumstick. Mark, grab a drumstick. Grab
Yeah.
a drumstick for us, quick, please.
Yeah. So just to show you, so you can have the match grip, but like
Yep.
instead of having, sorry guys.
No, you're good. You're good.
So like you said, the French grip here.
Yep,
You have
yep.
the Germanic. You
Yeah.
have the American grip.
Sure,
For
somewhere in
me,
the middle.
what I do is I take the drumstick, I put it between the index finger and the middle,
middle finger.
and you really can get a lot of resonance with your buzz rolls.
Wow.
Like coming off the stick, it really comes out like with the
Yeah.
looseness of the back stick.
Yeah,
So,
dude, it's funny. We talked on our podcast Drum Key, our January episode that we did with Aaron Kennedy, Rhythm Saint. I don't know if you know that name, but anyway, he's a tech, so he's
really?
tech for a lot of people.
Cool.
He tech for Stuart Copeland,
Okay,
and was
cool.
telling us about Stuart Copeland's.
Right.
He does the traditional thing, but
Yeah.
threads it in a different finger.
Yeah, he
Okay.
threads it like here.
He threads
Oh,
it.
yes.
Yeah,
It's
or-
either high. No, I think it's pinky. Yeah, I think it's like
Oh, the
there.
pinky like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So like
really?
when you see
Yeah.
him, because he's got that signature sound, but
Yeah.
when he thwaps, he has a little bit more whip to that stick, and he does that, and you don't hear too much. So
No.
that's very cool. That's another variation,
So,
man.
For the traditional, I've been learning from Bruce Becker, and Bruce Becker
Oh,
does a
yeah.
lot of more thumb, like she's
Big
like thumb
time.
extension.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing for my accents.
That's
like
cool,
working
man.
that.
That's really cool.
But yeah, the Walter grip, I like it a lot because
Yeah.
you can really work your mind, and also you can end up doing like French grip too. with the
Yeah,
Walter
you can
grip.
flip it. You can kind of alternate and then tip it around.
Yeah. But no,
That's very cool, man.
It's just really cool to see that we have different approaches as drummers,
Oh.
right? And then learn from each
Absolutely.
other. You know,
That's
the biggest people I've been learning from as of late, but it started off with Robbie's dad.
Yeah.
But for me, is looking and watching and learning from not just drum corps,
Yep.
but from orchestral drummers like Josh Jones.
Oh shoot, yeah, that's a whole
Out of Chicago.
world. Yep.
I've been learning from Klaus Hessler from Germany.
Yep.
His cousin, Annika Niles, has some great stuff.
That's his cousin?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Get out of
Yes.
here.
It is a small world.
It's
Get
unbelievable.
outta here.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
And then along with that, you have a lot of other people from all different genres. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just working it. Like
Yeah.
Evans right now came out with those new acoustic style drums and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just to have a different soundscape, you know?
Yes.
And also you can lighten up your touch, you can darken up your touch depending on how you move the stick, you know?
Yeah,
in the motion.
yeah, and as long as you're keeping it loose, you're good. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
As long as you
exactly.
just don't have any of that tension building up, it's okay.
Right, absolutely.
You know, so it's really fun to see different approaches. So I gotta ask,
Yep.
because we're at the Delaware Drum Show.
Yes.
Are you a frequent drum show visitor?
So, I guess, is there a threshold for being a frequent drum show visitor? Like, for me, this is my third one.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm
That's
not
good.
there just
No,
yet.
that's good.
I'm
Yep.
getting
4 to
there.
5.
getting
Now
there.
you're
getting
Yes.
there.
a frequent
Did
flyer.
you come out to the PA Drum Show? We'll
I-
organize
I-
the PA Drum Show
I
now.
need to go out.
Dude,
I missed
November.
out.
November.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. It's awesome, man.
I
It's
was
really
just
awesome
talking
thing.
about Shady Maple Restaurant. Is a great restaurant right around
Come
here.
on, that's like down the street from where I
Best
live,
buffet.
brother.
Best buffet ever. And I was telling them, don't take photographs or video, but you can enjoy it for what it is.
Just listen, immerse yourself.
Yes, it's a pure experience.
It is.
Right?
It is. And if you start talking a little Dutchy, that's okay too.
What I like about it is like you have not just the sandwiches, not just the pasta bar, you have
Yes.
the salad bar, you have the dessert bar.
Yes.
That when I took my wife and I a few years
Yeah.
ago before seeing JoJo Mayer
Nice.
in Allentown.
Yep.
Yeah, there was the
Yeah.
jazz
Yeah.
project
That's
he was
great.
doing.
That's great.
It was the first time my wife actually enjoyed watching a jam band because she's not into the jam band thing. But
Yeah.
Nerve with JoJo Mayer,
Yep.
unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I know.
She had to say it herself, just like, this was great. Like, it's an experience.
It is.
And so,
it is.
go-
And
Shady
they're
Maple and go down
so
there.
musical that it's exciting to watch. And
Exactly.
they take the music different places. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad we're talking about Shady Maple.
I know. I could
Dude,
I could
this,
tell
you're getting me hungry.
This,
Right?
literally, I just ate a cheeseburger, and
Right.
it was like
It's not the same.
classic, like fire hall greasy cheeseburger. And I was like, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah,
This is what I
exactly.
anticipated. This is what I have in my hands, and I'm so excited about it. And I got 2 of them, and the drum show shirt from here, and I'm like, so
Yeah.
content. I'm like, I'm just gonna go and sit in my little seat and just talk drums the rest of the day, man. Absolutely.
And it's always better to have yourself already fed, full, so that way you
Yes.
can.
Your
satiate
mind
other
is
people
on
with your-
point. You're
I needed it.
firing
I
on
needed
all
that
cylinders.
second win, man. I
Right,
needed that
especially for
second
drumming. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
just need that energy.
I know.
And, like, that's what I feed off of. Like, literally
Yeah.
feed off of is the energy
Yeah.
that we have with the
Cool,
eating
man.
and the drums.
win. Cool. Well, thanks for popping in,
Thank you for
brother.
letting me stopping in.
We are here. We are joined. Why we had to travel the whole way to Delaware to talk to Jeremy Toole.
Yeah, well, you know,
Local, regular,
I'm an
customer, friend,
international celebrity.
drummer. Yes, we need to
So-
track him down. We had to switch cross borders
Yeah.
to get to him, to get him
Yeah.
on our podcast. But you're here.
Yeah.
And representing Drums and Peace, you're
Drums and Pieces is the name that I use for my own hobby.
Sure, sure.
I'm not a dealership. I'm just
It's-
a guy
well,
who loves drums.
I gotta say, I love it though. I'm
Yeah.
all about branding, man, and
Yep.
like I love that you got a logo, you got the whole thing, and it looks good. It presents well, especially at drum shows, dude. It,
Thank
like
you.
it presents like, hey, this is a legit thing, which it is, but it doesn't look like, yeah, this is Joe Blow selling his drums and he's not going to sell anything. But how are you doing? Are you doing all right?
Yeah,
Moving
doing
some
great.
stuff?
Having a great show. There's lots of people coming through the booth.
Yeah, man.
Just sold a Summit mahogany drum set.
Beautiful.
Which is really psycho.
Dude,
that thing.
the whole kit.
That's been my go-to display piece for every
I
drum
was
show
gonna
for the
say,
last
man.
couple years because it's just knocks people's socks
Yeah.
off. So. Yeah, the fact that
Dude.
one actually sold was a
Yes.
big deal.
It's a little.
now
It's
I
a little
understand
bitter.
why you have time for us.
Probably bittersweet too, because that was your
Yeah.
main display
Yeah,
piece.
man.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if I sell it, then I don't have it.
Yeah,
So it's
but
like,
the-
what am I supposed to do?
The great thing about it is I know the builder. He can build me some more.
Beautiful.
So that's okay.
That's fun, man.
I'm sure that'll come down the pike at
Yeah.
some point.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I got lots of snare drums and cymbals for people to look at.
Awesome.
And those are selling too. So it's a
Dude.
great show.
That is rad. That's really rad. Well, because you've been into drum shows longer than we've been in the drum show circuit. Like we're relatively new to drum shows. The first thing we did in the drum show world was put on a drum show, which is wild. But
Yeah.
with the circumstances, when opportunity strikes, man, you go for it. So, in this sort of environment, what do you look forward to most? Obviously, you've established yourself kind of as a vendor now.
Yep.
But there's the gear, seeing the gear, and then there's like the clinics and the educational side of things, and then there's the networking.
Yep.
What do you value? What's your ranking of those?
Well, for me, since buying and selling is a hobby, that's the number one thing. Are people actually just there to look, or are they there
Sure.
to try
Sure.
something new and actually take something home with them? So that's the number one thing because I have to take my time and energy to put
So
things
much.
together for
Yep.
the show
Yeah.
for sure. But outside of that, it's just networking. People that I get to meet who get excited about something that I have to show them, and that's always a lot of fun. So
It is.
every drum show is a little bit different too. So some drum shows are more vintage people, and there's a lot of vintage people around
Yep.
at this show. So I get to talk to people about those old drums that we grew up with or that we experienced when we were younger. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we get to talk about brand new stuff like the Summit. That's a brand new take on a drum. So
Yeah, dude, Summit Drums.
Yeah.
So do you want to plug Summit Drums just real quick while people are checking it out?
Summit Drums is a steam bent one-ply solid shell, and there's not too many people that are making their own shell like that these days. Of course, everybody knows the name Craviotto, and I hear repeatedly people who say these are just as good as Craviotto for half the money.
Yeah,
and that's
your
what
prices are great.
That's
for
what I
that,
love about
that
them.
specific niche that you're doing. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because if you can spend $500 or $600 on a snare drum, you have a choice between plywood and solid wood. I mean, my thing, I'd rather have a solid wood drum.
wood all day long, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I get excited about them, and that's why I love to play them.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I don't want to hold you up.
Yep. No,
Check
I
out
appreciate
Summit
it.
Drums, Drums in Peace, all over the place.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for having me.
Come out to one of these drum shows, man. The PA show's going to be coming up in November. We got the Delaware Drum Show happening now, but we ain't slowing down. So come out and see Jeremy, meet Shawn, meet Adam.
Yep.
We're here for it, man. We love drums.
Thanks for
man.
having me, guys.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Welcome to Drum Key, man. This is our podcast. Have you been checking out our podcast at all? Following us?
I saw like one.
Yeah. Get real close in there.
How's that?
There you
Yep,
go.
yep,
As
yep,
if
we're
you can
good.
hear yourself, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear myself well.
There you go.
Pretend you're a singing, playing drummer. Do you sing? Do you sing and
Yeah,
play?
do you sing when you play?
No.
No? Quick, introduce yourself.
Name is Rich Brinsfield.
Awesome. And how long have you been drumming?
God, probably since 9 years old. I'm now 55.
This guy's a pro, man. He's been doing it a long time.
This guy is like friends with all of the major rock stars. Steve Smith, Todd Suckerman,
how did you,
Johnny Rabb.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, he's got connections.
How
this
did
guy
you
does.
how did you weasel your way into that?
I was blessed.
He's just a good guy.
Took lessons with Steve in 06.
Nice.
Yeah, during the Berks Jazz. And then from there, started attending all the shows every year and got in. Eventually, working with them.
Yeah.
And in 2019 was awesome because we went on the road. Went for like a week.
Oh, wow.
So we hit Blues Alley in D.C.
Okay.
Then we did the Inn at Reading that was I think 2 nights.
Nice.
Then we headed up to New York for the Iridium.
Oh, very cool.
So I've been blessed, man. He's really good to me. Yeah, Steve's just a humble guy. He's a monster drummer. He was my favorite drummer growing up. He inspired me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so cool when you meet someone like that, and they turn out. Not only are they your heroes, but they turn out to be awesome people and really caring, awesome, loving individuals. You know?
Absolutely, man.
I follow Rich on social media, and I'm constantly seeing him rubbing shoulders with Steve Smith and Todd Suckerman. I'm like, man, this guy, freaking, he's got connections.
Yeah, I mean, it's we look at it in life like what we don't have.
Yes.
But then you got to stop and like what you really do have.
Absolutely.
And like a day like this being here it's a blessing because
It really is.
a lot of my friends, if they're not musicians, some of the guys that normally hang out with and stuff, so like coming here, we're all sharing in our passion.
Absolutely. That's why we're here doing this. Is because we're like, we just want to go and talk to drummers and have fun. And this is it, man.
I appreciate it because you had me nervous, but now I'm comfortable just sitting here
That's
with
what
you
I'm saying.
guys.
Yeah.
And
Like, there's no pressure, man. No
You know,
agenda.
it's kind of like when we're talking at the drum shop, and we're just talking about drums, we're talking about drummers, we're talking about the equipment and everything else. It's like, why not just put this in a podcast form?
Yeah,
just
man.
talk. And everyone, we were nervous at first too when we first started this. We're like, man, what if people don't, they don't like us, or we don't know
but
what
we're
to say?
talking drums with
We're talking
drummers,
drums.
baby.
It's like, this
and
is
it's
so
for
easy.
drummers too. It's drummers talking to drummers for drummers.
Right.
For drummers,
This is
yeah.
Greek to a lot of people, but for drummers, man, it's it. And that's our whole mentality.
Are you thinking about picking up anything today?
I might look. I like the books that Joe Bergamini
Nice.
has
Yeah,
over
man.
there. So
Good stuff.
the Gad and Stuart Copeland's one of my all-time.
Yep.
And so, yeah, but getting in, like he mentioned, like Todd's a sweetheart, man.
Yeah.
And God, I've been with him numerous times, having shows backstage. working his master classes. His master class is going to be coming up in Westchester. You guys should check it out.
I think so.
Because what he teaches is just unbelievable.
Very approachable. Speaking of those, I just caught side-eye of Pat Petrillo walking around the corner. I'm guessing he's on his way to get another cheeseburger or to go to the bathroom, but he said
he's supposed to be. Yeah, he's supposed to be
back any minute
one of
here,
our guests here.
But yeah,
hey,
talk about another nice
were
guy,
you
but yeah.
were you at the PA Drum Show?
No.
Okay.
But you will be next year in
sir.
November.
Yeah.
Because we're organizing it now. We absolutely love it, man. And it's coming from this place of gratitude, like you're talking about.
Yes.
And just appreciating what we have and these opportunities.
Just like on a personal level, like I was telling you, Steve Smith is just wonderful. The inspiration over the years, the friendship forged, everything.
Yes.
And then Todd Zuckerman, he's just amazing too. And then Johnny Reb, it's just him and I was managing the Guitar Center drum shop in Plymouth Meeting at the time, and he came in to do a rolling clinic, and we hit it off from there. And when he was back with Biodiesel and going to Silk City downtown and the Blockley, and now he's with Collective Soul.
Yeah, dude.
And our relationship is just amazing, and he's just a wonderful person too. And then even I have to give props to Jerry Brown, man, touring with Diana Ross right now, Stanley Clark. He's amazing.
Great.
I've been blessed to be friends with him.
That's awesome.
Not to talk just on me, I'm just saying in general.
No, that's what we're here to talk about, man. Drummers, drums, and everything drum industry.
I just think it's just so healthy for you too.
It is.
Like in every aspect.
This is
playing,
therapy.
It is. Yeah,
this is
really,
therapy, just being here.
And it's a really specific journey when you're a drummer too. So to be able to share things, like, hey, did you ever run into that? Yes. And someone else is just as excited to share with you because they ran into that too, you know? So it's like it's almost like we all go. Obviously, we have all our directions and different ways we got into it and get out of it, different things like that, different life experiences. But there's something about the frustration and like the trials and tribulations of learning to play and progressing that we can really relate on at a deep level.
And you know what's awesome too with drummers? I don't find like there to be a competition type of thing.
No,
any person, any other guy that's a drummer has always wanted to make me a better drummer.
Yes.
And that's what it's about.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just hey, you don't know? Well, let me show you how to do this or that, and it's just that's what it is about.
That's it. I love it. That's it.
And because when I headed here today, I put a post on Facebook that I was just blessed to be able to come here, thankful to be around all my drumming friends and to be able to share our passion and stuff.
Never in your wildest dreams did you think you'd be on a podcast today, though.
Yeah, I never thought that. Shoot.
Now you're going to be out there in social media land,
and I was like,
you're going to be there.
And then given like these guys here, Pat's great. Pat Petrillo, David Usikian, him and I, and I've known him for years, amazing.
Yeah.
Joe Bergamini, his master class, monster drummer, just great, humble person too. And then Daniel Glass is, oh man, he plays up with his trio and everything. He's at Birdland all the time, and he's just a great guy. And everyone is just, what's so refreshing is like everyone's approachable. Everyone, it's just. It's just a great thing, man. It's
absolutely
it's a blessing.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, I love your attitude, man.
I couldn't have said it better.
I love
man.
your attitude.
Could not have said
that's
it better.
the place that we come from, and I'm a big proponent of intent matters. What are you trying? You know what I mean? It's not just the results. You know what I mean? It's like what's in your heart? What are you really passionate about? And what do you want to do? Our goal is to share and to collaborate and to help each other. So
exactly.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
I appreciate you guys having me sit down. I was really nervous.
We got you, man. You're safe with us. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, man.
Sure, man.
Appreciate
Thank you. Nice
to see you. It's good to see you, brother.
All right. So we are here at the 2024 Delaware Drum Show, and we have Mr. Pat Petrillo sitting in with us.
What's happening?
Pat,
we've been waiting for you all afternoon.
You have?
We have.
Oh, okay.
We have.
Did you bring food?
We did.
Okay.
I was just eating some combos.
We did. We are surviving off of combos and Red Bull right now.
Hey, I tell you, you cannot come to a drum show and not. First of all, there's a lot of great vintage gear here, right? So, but you can't come and not get something.
Exactly.
It's just the way it goes.
It is. It is.
So I just found this. I don't know. He called it a first stamp Zildjian.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
this
that's an old one.
stamp is so small, man. I can barely see it. Oh, you just found it. Check you out. It's
Oh,
good
yeah.
to have young
I
eyes.
got that eye.
Is that for real, or did I just get
Let me see
ripped
it.
off?
Can I see it?
I only paid $100 for it anyway.
That's for real. That's
But can I tell you that he said it's probably from the mid-20s, maybe early 30s.
That would make sense that stamp's there. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And to own a piece of history is really cool.
It is. It's a beautiful thing.
And I know you're a big cymbal guy too.
Yeah,
you love your cymbals.
You know, you guys can probably hear that, right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's all it takes.
Isn't
man.
that what it is?
That's all it
brother.
takes.
This is it right
that's
here.
that's the sound of the 30s right there.
Check
That's
out how
it.
thin that thing is,
Oh my
too.
gosh.
It's really thin, and it's cool. So listen, thanks for inviting me into your cool little spot here.
Absolutely, dude. We always are trying to do things differently, man, with our drum show and with this.
Well,
We're like, what
listen,
can we do to shake things up?
I appreciate you having me at the Pennsylvania Drum Show.
Absolutely.
Which was really, really cool. I had
You were
a lot of
freaking
fun.
incredible. And may I say, one of my first drum clinics live that I've ever seen was your drum clinic at Drums Etc. when you were endorsed by Maryland Drum Company in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You were there, and I was there. I worked there at the time, and I was
cool.
a youngster then.
Uh-huh.
But you came in, did an amazing clinic.
Oh, thank
and
you,
also,
brother.
let me see this tape over here. Can I see this tape?
Oh.
We had this at the shop too.
I don't know.
Grab that.
This
Yeah.
is some scandalous. I don't
Let's
know if
take
we
a
should
look.
show
Yeah.
Oh, there he
Yo,
is.
bang! Look at this.
There
guy.
he
Look at that.
is.
Yeah, baby.
That's my brother Chico. That's not me. Now that
so
was
good.
the
His
hair.
VHS
The hair's still working. It may
Dude,
not
the
be
hair
this
rules,
long,
man.
but
Look at that.
you know. But you
Handsome
know what?
devil.
It was funny. A little story about this. This
Yeah.
was not the original photo of
Okay.
snare drum rudiments. But when they redid snare drum rudiments, they said to everybody who had videos out, we need new pictures.
Yeah.
So, we all had to do them. I think Weckel did them. We all had to do these new pictures. So if you notice the drums on here, who can identify these drums?
What are we looking at there?
I'll take a look.
Oh, they're doing
Okay,
a
got
raffle.
the
now.
rims mounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I take a peek?
Look at the lugs. They're doing a raffle in here. That's why it's so quiet. Everybody thinks they're going to win something. This is a Remo drum set.
I was going to say, we were just talking Remos on the way up. I was
This
like,
is a Remo. What did they call it? Acousticon.
Yeah.
Acousticon
shell. So I was playing those for a hot minute, and then I found Maryland Drum. But yeah, Snare Drum Rudiments was one of the most popular videos ever.
Beautiful. There it is.
And sold
There he
a
is.
lot of copies
Yes.
of
had
VHS.
Yep.
Globally.
Globally.
It was cool. It was very.
What?
It was a fun time. It was a
Yeah.
different time because, there wasn't a whole lot of videos on the market at the time.
Right. Right.
And so doing that was like, you knew it was going to go worldwide because
Yes.
every drummer had, these new things called instructional videos.
I know. It was such an era of
DCI.
that. Sean and I were talking
Yes.
about that too,
Yeah.
and how widespread they went.
Yes. Yeah, it was it. That was like, and Snare Drum Rudiments was like one of maybe 7 or 8 that were out. Like the Steve Smith,
Steve Gadd's was kind of
the
like the
Gadd
first
1 and 2 was
Yeah,
out.
yep.
Yeah, and mine, and I think
Weckel.
Louis Belson. So there wasn't many. And the story about that is, and Rob Wallace, who's here from Hudson Music, which was DCI Video.
Right. Right.
I was teaching at Drummers Collective at that time, but I was a student before that. But then I started teaching there, and we were leaving one day, and he goes, "Hey, man, we're in the elevator," and he goes, "So you know your rudiments, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah."
What a question.
I was in drum corps for many, many years.
Yeah.
You're kind of rudimental. Yeah, I'm a rudimental guy, whatever. And he's like, "You want to do a video?" I was like,
Shoot. Yeah.
"Yeah, sure." So we get down, the door opens, and I said, "All right, we'll talk about it tomorrow." And that was it.
That's it.
Handshake. It's like,
Yep.
all right, no problem. So we met, and then he said, "All right, we only have a half an hour," because that's the format of videos at that time.
Sure.
Was a half an hour. I said, "Well, I don't know if you want to. We're not going to be able to do all of this in a half an hour." So I actually left off like 3 rudiments.
Okay.
I left off like the 11, the 13, and the 17.
I was gonna say which one's got the
The
axe?
rolls.
Got it.
The rolls got the axe. and those are the ones that have the most questions. I probably shouldn't have done that.
That's funny.
The 11.
Hey,
how do you play an
hindsight.
11-stroke roll?
Hindsight. Yep.
You know, but we got it in 30 minutes. And another funny story, it was filmed at NFL Films down in Mount Laurel, which is Jersey, not far from here.
Yep.
In South Jersey. So I'm on the way down, driving down to NFL Films. Had to be there at, some ungodly hour. I don't even know what it was.
Always with production.
Yeah. So, and I'm flying down the Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah.
Flying. Cop pulls me over, bro.
Gotcha.
He got me, and I was like, okay, there goes my first royalty check.
There it is.
Right there.
Just tell him you're late for a drum video.
Not the Jersey cops.
That's funny.
Don't go over.
I worked with a guy briefly.
No, I'm a musician, and then they waive the ticket. Yeah, right. That's never
even,
worked.
That's even worse.
I worked with a guy briefly. Do you know Rob? I think his name is Robinson.
Robbie Robinson.
Yeah, Robbie Robinson.
Yeah,
I
great
worked with
rudimental drummer.
Yes, and he said that you guys were always neck and neck on
We
that
were
kind of
always
stuff.
neck and neck, yes. He's a great snare drummer. He's a little bit older than me by a couple years.
Yeah.
But, he won a few years. I came in second a couple times and third one time.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's great. Yeah, he's actually turned out to be a wonderful musician as well. He plays
He
guitar.
plays guitar, does singer-songwriter
Good guy.
type stuff. Yeah.
So that's my story about the video, and I'm sticking to it. And then they said, well, we're going to go into this new format called digital video, right? So we're going to digitize all of our videos. So by this time, the VHS was doing pretty good. It was still selling. Things were tapering off. But they had just sold their thing to Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers decided not to digitize snare drum rudiments. One more time. Okay. Which was a drag.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
no
okay,
pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a flam drag, if you know what I mean. So that was a damn flam drag. But they did not digitize it. So if they'd have done that, we could have had a whole new life. But who knew back then, really?
Yeah, yeah.
But then I also thought, well, since now that we don't just have to do 30 minutes, now that we're on, digital, why don't we just shoot a whole nother thing and we'll really do it up? And they said, nah, we don't need to. So that was a drag. So I ended up doing my own thing, which turned out to be Hands, Grooves, and Fills, which has all the rudiments on it anyway that you can still get at Hudson. So that's that story. So,
awesome.
And it's, it was one of those days that just changed your life.
You ever think about digitizing that for
No.
yourself or loading it up on YouTube
No.
or anything
Oh,
else
it's
like
on
that?
YouTube,
Okay,
I think.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
somebody has.
Okay.
Yeah, so somebody's making money. I've seen those for sale upwards of a couple $100, I think, actually. It's
wild, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention your ever since we do you need to get
No, I'm
okay
good.
Ever since we before the show and we were promoting that you were coming and everything, we
Nice.
put your album on and it's like in constant rotation in the shop.
Thank you.
It's excellent. It's absolutely
Thank
excellent.
you so much.
Thank you
so
much.
Whoa.
Well, that was really
Uh-oh.
weird, dude.
Is there an echo in here?
No, thank you so much. No, really, thank you. That was really weird, dude.
That was weird.
That was some karma stuff
Yeah.
right there. So the record is, and if I'd have thought ahead, I'd have brought
Grab one over.
It's over at the booth. It's over. I have a little table over there. I should have somebody just bring that over to me. But it's doing well. It's on all digital platforms, obviously, so you can download it. If you want a vinyl, you can grab it at patpdrummer.com. I have a handful of vinyls left, no CDs left. And the band just played at the NAMM show.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
It was great.
It's a great performance.
It
You
was-
never know with like all this moving parts how it's going to come across. But it was excellent.
It was good. They did a good job. I mean, the only thing that I'm a little bit bummed about is our sound check. I mean, we literally, we have a big band, obviously. It's not a big band like 14, 15. There's 8 people.
Yeah.
Right.
But you still got to sound check. You
Yeah.
got to sound check the horns. Well, we start doing it, and I'm realizing that they didn't really sound check the horns. So it took us a tune to bring it up, bring it down, and all this. But it was a fun performance. A lot of people. Were you there?
I wasn't. No, we were planning on it, but we couldn't make it.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I won't
yeah,
hold
I
it
saw it, but I
against
saw
you.
it right online. I saw a couple bootlegs, a couple people before I saw the official.
Yes.
And I was like, man, this sounds good.
It sounded pretty good. The best thing about it, I mean, the plaza was full, which was really cool. I was really happy. And people hear the band and they'd come in.
Yep.
It's a fun band. It's a horn band, and it's very versatile. It does some funk, fusion, R&B, but also some rock and some Latin. We do some really cool arrangements of like some Earth, Wind & Fire. Yeah. What we didn't do in our set was from our first record, which was the Abbey Road sessions. We did this at Abbey Road and at Studio 2. But we did not do any of those. We do Magical Mystery Tour. We do Lady Madonna. We do all of that stuff.
It's amazing to have live horns doing that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That is like
it's fun. It's
beautiful.
really fun. Great arrangements. So that's kind of what we bring to the table with the band. So, but we're working on another record, and I just finished a single for radio. I just finished it last week. So that's going to be released in the summer to Smooth Jazz Radio.
All right.
So this is a single. But, smooth jazz is a thing, or contemporary jazz, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Like, we released a single, 48th Street, which featured Nile Rodgers. We released that single to radio, and jam band stations played it a lot.
Nice.
Like, a lot of jam band stations.
Yeah.
Smooth jazz, some picked it up. We had to do a remix of it for smooth jazz.
Ah.
The kick was too loud. You have to roll off the bass.
Yeah. A little adjustment here and there.
A little adjustment here and there. You got to squash it down because, the format is the format.
Yep.
And it did pretty well. But I said, okay, listen, let's just do a tune that's hits a home run in the smooth jazz thing, And let's write a song that's just for that.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. So we crafted a tune that's going to be right down that smooth jazz genre. So that's going to come out in the summer. Then during the summer, we're going to actually record the next record.
Okay.
And that's going to be at Sunset Sound in Hollywood.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that, man.
Very cool.
Yeah, we got the tunes
That's
written.
Great.
This is going to be like on every record we tend to do a cover or two.
Yeah.
But we're not doing any covers on this one. All originals. So you take Snarky Puppy, Earth, Wind & Fire, Chic, and kind of roll it into a ball, and you got what we are.
That's awesome.
So we got a couple of tunes that kind of Snarky Puppy-ish.
Yeah.
A couple of more like fusion-y things that are kind of more, not that Snarky Puppy isn't fusion, but that stuff that's a little bit more not Earth, Wind & Fire, Weather Report. Some weather reporting kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then some groove stuff, and it's a variety.
Yeah. And what I found is it seems like you get into the nitty gritty, but it's not overwhelming where it's unlistenable or any. It's like it's very good. And I thought
Thank you.
that whoever I'm imagining you, but whoever had input in the way that your last record flows did a really good job.
The track listings.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're a lot.
So if you listen through the full album, which I know a lot of people don't do anymore, but if you listen front to back,
we do.
There's a lot of intention behind
I
that.
appreciate that because that a lot of thought went into that because I was thinking about how do I want this, how do I keep the interest of everybody,
Yeah.
And we went back and forth with a few different combinations, but I'm glad you noticed that because that's
awesome.
That was it wasn't just just whatever order kind of doesn't matter.
Right.
Because when you do an album, it does matter. At least
it's a story, I always say.
It's a story, exactly. Yep. And especially if you listen to the records from the 70s.
That's it.
And stuff like that. Even the Beatles records. I mean, you listen to that stuff and you know the order, and it's like, this is logical. This couldn't be any other order. You know what I mean? Like, and if you listen to some great albums of the past, and you listen to the song that you love, you almost know what song is after it.
You do. You start to sing it to yourself in your head.
You
and
know,
then if it doesn't come up next,
it's crazy.
It messes with you.
Right? Doesn't it? So when you hear that on the radio, like you're waiting for the next song to happen that
happens all the time.
Should happen.
Yep.
So there was a lot of thought given to that. But it's interesting now because I have some label. Well, I was on a label, but it wasn't much of a label.
Okay.
Due respect to Autumn Hill Records. Now I have a good label, but I also have two labels now that are just kind of right now vying for which one's going to be the best deal for us.
Okay.
But people are like, oh man, you get a record deal, that's great. I mean, the only thing that's great about it is the accounting.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, that's really, really
Yes.
important.
There's a lot of the crunch to that side of it.
Yes, there's the whole like, you know, like sound reports and all that stuff, sound scan, all of that stuff. Like you can, you know, there's the thing called TuneCore that if you write an album, you should join up onto TuneCore because that tracks all the radio play and all the sales. But you have to upgrade to get the high end service.
Yeah, there's always
You
that.
know,
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
free, or it's only this, and you're like, no.
No.
But what the feature
But
I want's always the highest one.
It's always the highest one. So you have a label that can take care of all of that. And yes, they get a taste.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, you know you're going to be accounted for, and you have somebody that's actually there doing the sound scan stuff and looking at everything and
Yes.
saying, okay, this is what it should be.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you got. This is what it is. You know, you were played here X amount of times, and it's documented, it's there, and it's reported, and you get paid.
Yes.
You know, it got played on this station, so you got this and that. And, you know, the better the station, like when you're on, like, Watercolors or any of those serious ones, people ask, how much do you get paid if you get on Watercolors or you get on Sirius XM per track? You get about $50.
Nice.
Awesome.
You get it comes out to about $50, which,
Okay.
as the writer, and that's not bad.
Yeah.
Really.
No, that's excellent. That's more than I would have predicted.
Yeah, that's actually kind of pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the goal. So that's why we created a new single based on, okay, smooth jazz, contemporary jazz, whatever the hell you want to call it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But that's the genre. That's the market we're going for.
Yeah, it's got an extreme focus to it. I like that. Very
Extreme
intentional.
focus, and right down to the mix, to the edit, to the length of the song, how much kick, how much bass, how much this. You know, we need to add a little bit more synth pad here. We need to, you know,
Sure.
it's so formulaic. It really makes you focus in. You have to be able to do
You
that.
have to. Yeah.
You know, or else you're not going to get played.
Yep.
They're not going to play your record.
Right.
And that's
Important.
not what we want.
No.
We want people to play the record.
And we want to keep being able to do this, right?
We want to keep and
That's the goal.
perpetuate.
Yes. Yep.
So that's what's happening. So I'm
Excellent.
I'm in writing mode, and I'm always teaching. Like I have a lot of online lessons via Zoom, but I also have like local Jersey, Philly people that come up to my studio and study. But you know, so I'm always in writing mode, and then you know, with products, I'm always like developing and designing new stuff. So I got a prototype ride, the organic crash ride I'm working on. But the organic ride still does pretty well. And, you know, the P4 practice pad.
We sold an organic ride because of your performance at the PA Drum Show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wasn't, of course, the prototype that you have, but it was the one that's produced.
The 21-inch, yeah.
So that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, you know, the cool thing about, I think, when you know you've done well is when you have drum shops like yourself, but also like Sweetwater, has put it in their studio pack.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if you go to Sweetwater, you want to get a pack of cymbals for your recording studio.
Yeah.
This cymbal with some K's and I think and a couple of A's are in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Nick DiVirgilio, who is working at Sweetwater, he's been there for a while now. He put that in there. He said,
Cool.
"This freaking ride is great."
Yeah.
And it's great for the studio. So, you know.
Yeah, man.
It is a great ride cymbal, and we got it in for the customer. We made a demo video, put it out
man,
there.
We were pushing
Oh,
that. We got a
man.
lot of interest generated from that.
Yep.
That's it. But it starts out with you. I just want to give a shout out. We breezed over it. Pat saved the day. He saved the day for
Yeah,
the PA Drum Show. It was a
okay.
very last minute fill in. And Pat got the call, was super generous with working with
Oh,
us,
of
getting you
course.
in there.
And
it was-
over-delivered.
It was incredible.
It was awesome.
That place was packed.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that
thank
whole
you, yes.
second story, dude. That was
Yeah.
like
There's a lot of people.
that was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you made such an impact. I hear about it weekly. So
Yes.
at least one or two people every
Oh,
week
man.
since the drum show in November.
Oh, man.
And
I
we-
still hear about it, but man, that clinic was great. Or how about Pat Petrillo? Like, so
And we
you're
put
getting
some
a lot
clips
of,
out
a lot
there,
of
and
love,
people,
man.
people are liking it. They're
Love,
loving
love.
it. They're
Appreciate you
constantly
guys.
talking about it.
Well, you know, I've been doing this for a minute, so I kind of, let's put it this way. If I didn't, that's on me. That means I didn't learn anything in the 30-something years I've been doing this as a clinician. So, I mean, there's a delicate balance. I mean, you have to perform and play, but you want to teach and have them walk away with something and
Exactly.
be excited about the drums.
Yep.
And, I'm not a hype guy necessarily, and, not everything's rosy, and hey, isn't this great? It's a hard instrument to learn, man. It's just, as you know, I mean, you're always getting new stuff to learn or just trying to get better at what you can do.
Yes.
It's hard, so it's frustrating. Like, it's to a lot of people, it's frustrating. Like I can't do this coordination. Damn it, I quit,
Right.
And you try to avoid that and just, do the best you can do. You don't have to go crazy with the amount of hours you practice, but like anything else, like basketball, like I love to play basketball, right? So you're not going to get better at shooting unless you shoot a bunch of foul shots.
That's it.
True.
You're not going to get better at dribbling unless you just do some dribbling drills. It's the same thing. You just got to put time and muscle memory into it,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's such a common theme we see all the time is half the time we end up on our podcast where, we will bring up gear and different things like that, and half the time we end up talking about perseverance and being respectful and, courteous to those and really focusing on being grateful for what you have and then really being focused on people, man, and taking care of each other.
Yeah, and this, as big as the drum industry is, it's very small.
It is
exactly.
Small. Like Keith Carlock is here doing a clinic, and I met Keith when he was a student at North Texas, and I would go there and work with their drummers. And I met him. That was the first time I met him. He was in the drum line. A lot of great drummers came from North Texas, right? It's a great music program. So I met him there. We stayed in touch over the years and watched him develop to where he is now. And then we just seen each other out in the hall, and it's like, wow.
And you go in there.
Yeah, all the pathways led you, and here you are.
Yeah,
in the same
you go
room.
in there probably made such an impact on him too back then.
I think, maybe not a huge one, but a little bit.
Yeah, a little
I think
bit.
From everybody that used to go there and do clinics, absolutely.
Yeah, and when you're eager and you're hungry and willing to learn, man, you soak it up like a sponge.
That's the thing is you have to be willing to do that, and I think there's a lot of young drummers that don't do that.
Right.
I feel as if they want that instant gratification and quick fix.
Yep. Yeah. It ain't gonna happen. It's not how it's ever worked. It's not how it's gonna work.
No, and kind of leads us into a whole nother thing about, there's this thing that, even the guys at Drumeo, they get a little pissed about. It's like some drummers out there call those kind of drummers social media drummers.
Yeah.
And listen, I was an instructional video drummer. I don't know. So I mean,
the industry has changed.
What are you
going to
do?
Go with it? Yeah.
It is what it is, and
there are social media drummers, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Because that's just a different avenue now, and to ignore that would be foolish.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure people poo-pooed that
Yeah.
when the VHS came out. Like, no, you need to take private lessons. Why would you buy a VHS? There were
That's
probably naysayers back then too. So you're absolutely right.
Yep. But I think there's people today though that look at that as their career, and that's fine.
Right.
But if you can monetize, so
You have to. Yeah. That's part of the definition. Are you supporting yourself with music?
that's right.
It's
And
very
that's,
important.
That's what defines a musician to a certain extent. And people ask, like, all right, I play and I make money on my club dates on the weekends, or I make $300 a week. Am I considered a professional? Well, yeah. But financially, sure, you may not be doing it every single day, but you're a professional because you're working, you're playing music for people, and they're paying you for your services. So that makes you, by definition, it makes you a professional.
Exactly.
Now, are you a professional person? That could be a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
Because you also have to be a professional person as well as a professional musician.
Exactly.
Absolutely, brother.
And a lot of that has to be business-wise as well.
Big time. There's huge, there's the personal, kind of mom and dad raised me this way type stuff. But then there's the whole other side of, are you showing up on time? Are you prepared? Do you have the right gear for the gig? All those things add up. And it's very important that you're aware of all those and you're responsible for all those.
Yeah.
And that's how you make your impression.
Yes.
That is
That's
absolutely.
it. You only get one shot to make a first impression.
Yes.
And another thing I like to say to people and students in clinics and stuff is your reputation walks into the room before you do. And people know, good news travels like bad news travels. They both travel equally. So if they hear, oh, this guy's on the gig, Yeah, but I heard from Wada, he's kind of a jerk or whatever.
Yep.
That's going to be in the room before you even show up. That's
Right.
going to be in the room.
And now you're fighting against
And
that.
Yes, and now you're going to have to, and you're either going to prove them right,
Yep.
or wrong.
Yep.
But I just look at it as this, and I'll wrap with this. There's always somebody better, and there's always somebody worse.
Yep.
So there's no such thing as great, the best, and this and that. It's different genres, it's different styles, there's a lot of differences to it. So there's always somebody better and always somebody worse. So just stay humble, do your thing, be you, be a good person, and people will know, like, yeah, man, he's a good guy. You know what I mean? He's not tap dancing or woman, whatever.
It goes so far. That
It
goes
does.
so freaking
Now,
far.
you can be a nice guy and suck.
Yeah.
With
Very
that
true.
said,
Very true.
I like to keep it 100. You could be a nice guy and suck. So you don't want to suck.
Yeah.
And what is not sucking? That means be prepared. It means learn the material.
Yep.
If
Put in
you
the time.
can't read, that's fine. You don't have to read. Learn the material write it on a freaking napkin. I don't care what you got to do.
Yeah.
But just don't go in and suck.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the bottom line. With any gig you do, treat it as if you're playing Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Good
On
advice.
that note,
Good advice.
Pat,
and
thank you so much, man.
Yes.
I got my.
Oh yeah, you can play yourself out.
Close your eyes, baby.
He
ain't lying.
There we go.
Isn't
Thank
that
you.
the sound? That's
the
it.
sound, brother. That's it.
All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. As Ringo would say, and be kind to one another. Good luck with you guys.
Thank
You're
you,
doing a
sir.
fantastic job.
You are too, brother.
And check
You are
out
too.
check out their shop because drums, etc. is serious. It's very, very cool, and I hope to be back there one day.
And I'm a little hoarse from trying to talk over all this stuff.
I know. Yeah, we're spoiled over here. I'm like, hey Shawn, can you hear me? I'm like whispering, you know.
I can hear you just fine.
But yeah, Trinity Cymbals, man. Introduce yourself and what you guys are doing.
My name is Dave Simmons. I'm a certified Trinity artist. Unfortunately, the owners couldn't be here today. They both got sick.
Okay. Brutal. I saw you guys. I heard you guys were filling in or something.
Yeah,
and making it happen.
Joe and I. Well, they were gonna cancel the show, and we
Yeah.
were like, no, we can't cancel the show. So
No,
Joe Weston is another certified artist. So
awesome.
So we decided to run the show, but we're a Fredericksburg, Virginia-based cymbal company.
Okay.
And our cymbals are China made, but they're made in the Istanbul kind of way.
Okay.
Hand hammered, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Really nice cymbals. I mean,
I've been listening to them. They sound great.
yeah. Just we're right across.
We're right across the aisle
Right across
here.
the hall from you guys. We've been watching people going on all day.
It's fun, man.
I've been wanting to come over and get one of you guys on. I'm like,
You've
we
been
gotta get
busy,
you guys.
though.
Yeah.
I hear you talking.
Yeah, it's I'm hoarse. I'm hoarse as can be from trying to talk over the volume. We've got a lot of artists, Bernard Purdy. We have a signature line of cymbals.
Oh, wow.
Bernard's on our line, and he did a clinic earlier today,
Yeah.
and let everybody. Once he told everybody that he was on Trinity Cymbals, as soon as the clinic it was like a wave coming at us. We were like, what just happened?
Bernard just happened.
That's good, man. The Bernard factor.
The legend. But I love what you guys are doing. I've seen you guys over here the whole
awesome.
time, and it's awesome. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a lot of fun, man. We're here to gab about drums. The part of the drumming that makes it special is this community.
Yes,
So we're just trying to
yes.
foster that. We have a podcast called Drum Key, so we had all these mics. We're like, shoot, let's just go take the podcast on the road. But we're a drum shop, drums, etc. Drummers Pro Shop. We're a drum shop, and we do other stuff like this to help out the community.
I was just talking to one of your guys, so
Cool.
I'll talk to Robbie about you guys.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
We love to get in. We're in a few brick and mortars. We'd love to get into another brick and mortar and expand the brand. We just brought on some big name drummers.
Awesome.
I can't really release.
Oh, no.
but
Don't.
Yeah.
How many?
we
Do you
don't
guys
wanna-
have a certain amount of lines? Do you have like, you have 4 or 5 lines? Something like that?
Yeah. We have. I play the projection series.
Okay.
We have Bernard's signature line. We have the Brilliance, which are really bright.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have the Session, which are made for recording.
Gotcha.
Recording purposes. We have the Heavy, which is
Heavy rock.
for heavier hitting like
Yep.
rock.
Yeah.
Then we have the Dark series for the metal players.
All right.
A lot of attack, quick decay. You don't get that bleed over.
Yeah, and it's so funny because there's so much. We were talking about earlier about different, drums can be modified, but cymbals are kind of what they are, and there's definitely, guys picking up cymbals. First of all, we end up with a lot of them. We'll end up with a little bit of everything. But it's very important to have the right tools for the job, really being able to select that for that. So that's really cool that they're kind of geared in that vein, that direction.
Right.
And then of course, hopefully people can hear them and check them out and make that decision.
The one of the things that I really enjoy, and I was a Zildjian endorser for years. One of the things I really enjoy about the Trinity line is I play in 3 different projects. Each one very different. One of them is an R&B dance band.
Okay.
One of them is a Neil Diamond tribute band, which is a classic rock in that mode. Then I do a drum DJ show up at Xfinity at Wells Fargo. We play
awesome.
Flyers, Phillies, and Sixers games.
Yeah.
And each one is completely different, yet my Trinity cymbals fit.
Yeah.
They fit in each.
And which line do you play?
I play the projection line.
You did say that, yeah. Okay.
They have they you don't have to really hit them hard. They project.
That's kind of nice, man.
Because I'm not a real hard hitter.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a big guy. Because I'm a little bit of a sissy. I'll just admit it.
You don't need to hit them hard.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
People. I can't believe how many people come in with broken cymbals. It astonishes me. I don't break cymbals, and I'm not a hard hitter either. I just don't do that.
Well, I used to break thin cymbals, and that's why I stopped playing the thins. Zildjian thin. That would make it through a dozen shows or so before I get either keyholing or crack. Once I moved up in the Zildjian line to like the Z Customs, you can tell it's many years ago because they don't make the Z Customs anymore.
I think they're actually reintroducing them this year.
Yeah, they're doing.
So, yeah.
A lot of brands are re-releasing and retro this and that. So
that makes sense.
I think they'll rear their head.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But no, I absolutely get that though, and that's cool, man. That Trinity's got a lot of stuff covered. It's so interesting, and there's so much out there. What's up, Freddie? There's so much out there that it's difficult to kind of navigate what's best for your application. So it's
the funny thing is, and I've found this: a cymbal is a cymbal is a cymbal. One of the things that I really like about our company, and there are some other companies that do it, but we, as you see our motto, the cymbal, the service, the artist.
Yeah.
Which front and center? The
Sure.
service.
Yeah.
And it's how the company that you represent services you.
Of course.
That's how it works.
You have to be compatible.
Of course.
If I'm giving my all promoting a company, I expect them to do the same thing for me.
Yeah, it's a trade.
It's a give and take.
It's a give and take for sure. We were talking with Pat Petrillo earlier, and we were talking about that relationship and the endorsement factor. And there's different things. People have misconceptions in their head about how that works and how it's supposed to work. So sometimes with different companies, over the years, things have changed, management changes, But sometimes with different companies, there's kind of this mutual agreement that you think you're agreeing to, and then it's very one-sided.
Right.
It's very one-sided, and it's definitely a partnership, and it should be a partnership is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It should be a partnership where you're helping each other.
Well, you're going into business with them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how a proper endorsement should work. It's not, the misconception of, I'm just going to get free stuff.
Right.
That doesn't work that way.
The gimme.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, in the 80s it was just give me free stuff. That's how it used to be.
That's where it came from. Yeah.
That's where that came from. Yeah.
That's long past.
And also
that bird has flown.
Yes. And different generation of the amount of people making music, the amount of people making radio hits, the amount of money in the industry. All of that affects things and affects how things happen.
Yes.
And you can't pick your favorite era and act like it's still that era.
Exactly.
We live in the present,
And the owner of our company, Robbie Rodriguez, actually wrote a book. It's an ebook, and it's called The Art of Endorsements. The Art of Endorsement Deals.
Wow.
It's
awesome.
available through Amazon.
Yeah.
And it applies to not only musical instruments, but whatever.
That's cool.
Your product you get sponsorship from. Mm-hmm. And he explains it's not one-sided,
Sure.
The company's not in awe because you play their product.
Right.
They sponsor you for a reason.
Yes.
Whether it be exposure, or you have the ability to bring sales through the door.
Of course.
Or whatever the reason. But
right.
it's one of the most eye-opening. I tell all the young musicians I talk to, read that before you.
That's great. I'll check it out because
Yeah,
that makes total sense. We're talking about this, and some people look at us like we have two heads, and other people are like, "No, I get it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's really cool. Well, that's awesome that the company's founded with such that it has that foundation to it. That's a good place to start from. That's great, man. So
So
awesome,
it's cool, man. But thank you for having me on. I
yeah,
really
man. I was
appreciate
just
it,
like,
man.
we got to rope in our neighbors here and give them a little bit of a plug and
I
help
just
you out,
wish I
man.
still had a voice when you had me
Oh.
on.
No, you sound great.
Should have grabbed you early.
Yeah, if you got me earlier, I've been yelling over all this drumming all day.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
All right, thank you, man.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate everything,
Nice
guys.
to meet you,
You
brother.
guys are the
Thank you.
best.
I'm going to go check out your cymbals, too.
We have a very special guest joining us here at the Delaware Drum Show, the 2024 Delaware Drum Show. Drums, Etc. and Drum Key Podcast presents Freddie.
Boom Boom Murphy.
Freddie Boom Boom Murphy.
Now, Freddie, you've been
How's it going,
begging and
guys?
pleading to
Yeah,
get on this
man.
podcast.
And now I'm finally
and to
here,
freaking
right?
get on this couch.
And we made you
Little
drive to
did you know-
Delaware.
Yeah.
Little did you know that you had to drive to Delaware to get on the podcast.
I know, right?
When the studio is literally on the second floor upstairs.
It's literally upstairs.
And
By the way,
it's-
Freddie works at Drums, Etc. For those of you that don't know, and he's the man, and he's one of our new guys, but he's really not. He's been
not.
coming into the shop longer than I've been coming into the shop.
He absolutely has been. I've known him for a lot longer.
Since, well,
Probably early 2000s.
Queen Street. At
No,
least
That's
I was-
before me.
no.
that was the first time I stopped in.
Right, but I wasn't there
Oh, you weren't there.
No.
No, you were New Holland.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
the entire time.
You were taking. You took lessons though?
I
at,
took lessons at Queen Street.
Yeah.
Wait a
and
minute.
New
Freddie's
Holland
been coming
Avenue.
into the shop longer than Shawn?
No. I don't know, maybe.
Ah.
Because my first time in the shop was, I think, 97.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what year it was. I know it was on Queen Street though.
Yeah, man.
When
Probably
I
around
when
that
I
same
stopped
time.
in.
Long story short, Freddie's the man. He's working at Drums, Etc. If you guys need anything and you call us, it's either going to be Mark, Shawn, Adam, or Freddie answering the phone.
Check me
if
out.
anyone else answers the phone, you dialed the wrong number. But no. So Freddie has been coming to drum shows longer than us too. We've been talking about how we put on the PA Drum Show and this is the Delaware Drum Show and stuff. But Freddie has been actually attending some of these shows before Shawn and I really. I mean, Shawn's been to a couple too. But what do you get out of the drum show? What is your favorite thing? Is it like the meet and greet thing? Is it the clinics that happen? Or is it the gear? Because I know you're a real gearhead.
It's a little bit of everything. I think what's cool too is just being around fellow drummers. It's like I feel like I'm in a big
camaraderie
family, like a house.
You
of
feel like
family.
the
Yeah.
B girl in that video where she sees all the other people in B outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Blind Melon.
No Rain.
No Rain, yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like
You
the B
feel
girl.
like the B girl?
Oh,
in
no.
the Blind Melon No Rain music
You
video.
like that? You like
Is that what
analogy?
you're going for? He kind of filled in that sentence
Say
for you.
no.
Were you about to say B girl? I think you were about to.
B-boy.
What a
B-man.
specific reference. I love
Well, did you get anything today?
Did you just get here?
No, I've been here. Me and my buddy, we got here probably about like 10:30ish.
Oh wow!
But we were
It's 3
walking all
o'clock.
around. I know.
How
we've
have we
been
not seen you?
I ran into Shawn down here,
okay.
but
I'm sorry. I just didn't see you.
yeah, we just finally made our way back around this side. Like we were all around.
Did you
I
get-
ran into everybody over here. I seen John Pfeiffer and
Yeah.
and
see Bernard?
Yeah. We got a picture taken with
You
him.
got
and
your picture
stuff.
taken.
Yeah, and I
That was
got
his goal
a
for
drum
today.
head. I got a drum head sign, so that
Nice.
was
That's cool.
cool. And we went in and checked out his little clinic that he did inside. That
Nice.
was cool.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Did
it
you
was-
play the Purdy Shuffle?
Oh yeah. He was saying he's like, everybody asks, are you gonna play the Pearly Trail? Are you gonna play the Pearly Trail? And he said, yep, I'm gonna play the Pearly Trail. So he did it. He ran his little clinic a little bit longer than what he was going to.
Yeah.
Just to add that to it, which was cool. I was like,
That's cool. I talked to him earlier, and he said he's going to pop over on the couch.
that would be cool to see.
Pat Petrillo was over here. I saw Ed
Yeah,
Toth
I saw him.
running around, too, where you need to snag him as well. And Gabe. Gabe Stasnik. We talked about him earlier.
Well, Mike is over there. We need to snag him at some
Yep.
point. Is that what you said, Mike?
I was
From
saying
Junk Rock?
Bernard
Okay, yeah.
and Gabe.
Yeah, I
Mike.
ran into Gabe.
There's a lot of folks here, man. We know a lot of people in the drum world, and it's so much fun.
Well,
I'm so excited to be here.
It was cool as I stepped. I was coming up through, and I seen Pat, and he seen me, and he stopped talking to the other guy and came over and talked to me.
Oh, no
shook my
way.
hand. He's like, "Hey, how's it going? How
Oh,
you
that's
been?"
awesome.
I was like,
That's
"Yeah,
the
he
man.
remembered me." I was like, "That's cool."
That's because you were basically
saved
drum
the
teching.
day.
Yeah.
Drum tech for him a little bit there.
Yeah, that was
PA
cool.
Drum Show.
So
That was
I was-
great, man. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm enjoying it here. It's the first time I was at this show, so I was like, it's cool. It's like, I'm
So let
enjoying
me
it.
ask you this.
Yeah.
When you walked in, could you see us immediately?
Oh,
'Cause we have big old lights and everything.
I
We got
know.
a studio.
I
Everyone
was
else
like-
just has drums on tables.
I was like looking around. I was like, okay, where's the guys? And I'm like, oh, it must be them down there.
Oh, they're probably near the sun.
Yeah.
Well, you know us, Freddie. We always mix things
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Always trying to do something a little different.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. It's
Yeah, man.
keep it alive and keep it going and see what we can do bigger and better.
That's it, man. This is the idea generator think
Yeah.
tank right here. The next drums, etc. event or idea comes from our humble brains. And between the
Definitely.
three of us, we have at least the intelligence of one normal.
That's right.
grown-up.
and really, our whole thing for this drum show, we were going to just sell T-shirts. We were going to have a booth and sell T-shirts, and then we thought, what if we podcast from the event? And we had
And here we
a
are.
plethora. And then I said we should get a fake brick wall. I seriously said this stuff, and that's where it all came from. And then Adam found this brick wall.
It's perfectly to scale. If you can't tell,
Oh,
bricks
yeah.
are normally the size of our heads. They're huge.
Bring our whole setup, the couch, the chair, the
man.
table.
Yeah, this is
the
how it
the
happens.
brick wall, and boom, it all came
Yeah.
together
Just like
very
this.
quickly. And we're still selling T-shirts and trinkets, so we're good.
Trinkets.
I feel like we're upstairs in the office doing
That's
the
right.
podcast
Right, it's exactly
again.
the same. Exactly the same.
Exactly
We can
the
still
same.
hear people playing drums downstairs.
Yeah.
And it's
Freddie-
a little louder in here.
Freddie
I've been staring
Boom
at this
Boom.
Gretsch kit
Yeah.
all day, dude. It's pretty nice. Slingerland right in front of me. It's very
Yeah.
tempting. Drooling over these drums, man. But it's actually probably a good thing we're kind of back here in the tucked on the side a little bit for noise-wise.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
our listeners might not agree with us. They might be like, dude, this
Well-
was the worst thing to listen to.
The entire time that Pat Petrillo was talking,
Oh my gosh, Freddie!
that's gonna.
It was the raffle.
Oh.
So he's like, yeah. So here's some
And
awesome
okay, here we
drum
go.
knowledge.
Okay,
And-
we're gonna
and when
go
we
ahead and
recorded
go
that,
ahead, give away
it was
this over
very,
here.
very important. And here's the one thing you don't want to forget.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for a raffle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, man, come on.
I know, but he powered through it. So I was like, all right, man. I mean, I went into respect mode, and I was like, I gotta be respectful of this guy's time. If he wants to keep rolling, we'll keep rolling, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Very cool, man. But yeah, Freddie, thanks for stopping in, dude.
Yeah, man.
You made
I've
it.
seen
You made
all
it to Drum
kinds
Key,
of
brother.
neat stuff.
It's cool. Do you see anything for the
Oh.
shop?
Yeah, well, I seen the guy down here that has the Summit drums. We have a snare drum
Jeremy
in
Tool
there
one,
and
yeah,
stuff.
Yep.
Those drums, the couple drum sets he had set up, man, they sounded great. I'm like, wow.
Jeremy Tool stopped in, and
Yeah.
he said they sold one.
Yeah, I think they sold both of them that
Both
they
of
had
them.
set up.
That's
there.
amazing.
And
That's
the one
awesome.
there was
Good for them.
one with a small bass drum that was sitting in the front, like towards the door.
Yeah.
And I loved how the toms sounded with the wooden rim, the wooden hoops and stuff on
Yeah.
all the toms. They just sang out. It sounded great. I was like, wow. I was surprised, and they're all one-piece shells, which was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
man.
so.
One ply, steam bent, brother.
Yeah. I was
Freddie.
like, wow.
I'm kicking off the show now.
Ah.
No, but I
Gotcha.
will.
We gotta
I
call
will
some other
actually do
people
that.
in.
We gotta get.
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
can-
run out of time. But
Yeah.
Freddie, we'll have you on the podcast again, brother.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'll be looking forward to it. Now I got to go back out here and roam around some more, and then
Hey,
Tell me if you
send
find
people
anything
our
cool.
way. Send people
Yeah.
our way, brother.
yeah,
We gotta
Definitely.
wrangle some more people in here.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Drum Key with Freddie Boom Boom Murphy.
Here, guys.
Well, we're crazy, so we were like, you know what we should do? Take this format that's usually in a nice sound isolated room, and let's bring it to the loudest thing possible.
Love
the
it.
Delaware Drum Show.
Absolutely.
2024. So introduce yourselves. Who are you guys? Both drummers, I imagine.
Yes. My name's Andrew.
Justin.
We're cousins, and we also play drums together in a brass band
rad.
over in Philly called WOFAB Brass Band. And,
Awesome.
And I'm the snare drummer. Justin's the bass drummer. We have a cymbal player who's not here today, but we're
That is
we're out and about.
awesome, though. That's great. Are you guys gigging? Do you have any upcoming gigs? We're gonna put this out like in the next couple days.
Yes.
People can come see
Yep.
you. Promo it up.
March 3rd, we're in Gloucester City's St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Awesome.
March 10th, we're in Philly's St. Patrick's Day Parade. March 16th, we're down in Stone Harbor for their Polar Plunge.
Oh, nice.
We got all
That's-
kinds of stuff.
That's cool stuff going
A
on.
party of Froggy Car on March 17th. Yeah.
got some travel trips coming up. Got a West Virginia trip coming up. We do a little bit, trying to spread out a little bit, get some more under the wings.
Yeah, you go where the work is, and that's awesome. That's awesome, guys. So that's really interesting. Like we've talked to tons of drum set players today, and that's like a very different thing, but it's really not. But it is, you know what I mean? So it's like, do you guys do that as well, or do you just focus? Yep. I mean, I know you can. But do you, is my question. Yeah. Okay, cool. So when you come to a drum show like this, what are you eyeing up? Like, what are you eyeing up the most?
Snare drums.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Kinda,
say bass drums. Go ahead. No.
So I did notice the big one when I came in this morning. I was like, "Ooh, look at that!" But no, it's just kind of just scope around. I mean, snare drums definitely a big one. New cymbal technology, anything really coming out that catches the eye. It's cool to catch up on some new stuff. New technology.
Yeah, for sure. And drum shows are a cool spot because you have a lot of smaller companies too that are doing unique things, and like you got inventors mixed with like established big companies mixed with drum shops. We're a drum shop. We have a podcast, Drum Key. That's what we brought out today. But we're Drums Etc. Drum shop, right? So you got like drum shops and you got artists and all of this kind of like intertwined and intermingling. So it's like a cool cultural thing, and we're all drummers, so we can all just like immediately we just pop into a conversation. Like we can immediately relate to each other.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that's what the drumming community is about. So when you come out to an event like this, obviously we're gear nerds to a certain extent because it's a major thing that happens. But there's also like a networking thing that happens, and then you got the drum clinics and education side of things. Then you can actually sell your stuff here. What do you guys do when you come here? Or is it just you focused on the gear or the people or the performances or what?
Well, so this is the first time I've ever been to any kind of drum show.
Cool,
I've been playing for a long time. It's the first time I've ever been. So it was kind of the experience, right? See what it's at. See what people have to offer. Check out clinics from people that have we learned from as we're coming up.
It's so cool to just be this in person, right?
Exactly. It's really just the whole experience of it all. Catching it all is really what I wanted to get out of this and seeing what it's all about first time around.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So for me, I was here back in 2019, right before the pandemic. I guess it was in and around that time.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine picked me up, drove me here, and I was here for 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I found out about the event this year again.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks ago, I told Justin, I said, "Get ready, man. We're hitting the road. We're going to Delaware. We're doing it.
We're doing it. So where are you guys from?
So I live in Mantua, New Jersey now. Originally from South Philly.
Originally, same thing. Originally from South Philly. I live in Delaware County right now.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
We're in Langston, PA.
Okay. I know. I've been to your shop.
Okay. I don't want to assume.
Love it.
I mean,
Love
we're
your
just
shop.
We're just like a little drum shop. I don't want to assume, but awesome. Very cool.
I have family in Lancaster, so anytime I get to go to Drums, etc. I bought drumsticks for one of our biggest gigs we ever did. We went to play for Howard Stern's wife's birthday, and I bought drumsticks at your store for that. Yeah, it was amazing. It was incredible.
Awesome.
That was definitely an event.
That's awesome. A gig like that doesn't come around that often.
We entertained the entertainers of the world for the last 40 years on that gig. It was so special.
Wow.
Once in a lifetime.
That's a really cool experience.
Yeah.
So thank you for the drumsticks.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. We do it again. In fact, if you need some drumsticks. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, man. Yeah, we're digging the drum show thing. I don't know if you know this. The Pennsylvania Drum Show is a thing, and we're now organizing it. So as of November, this past year, we had our first show. We put it together real quick in a couple of months. We took it over from Jack Lawton, who's here. Lawton Drums up there. He started the show in '95. We took it over. So we're now hosting the drum show, and it's in Lidditz. It's literally like right down the street from the shop, right? So the PA Drum Show is a big thing. We're renting this awesome venue and stuff. You guys got to come out and stuff.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, we got the PA. We actually have some
touch.
cool PA Drum Show shirts as well, if you guys are interested in stuff like that. But,
Sounds good.
But yeah, man, we're doing it up. We love this drum show world, man. We absolutely love it. There's something like real tangible and awesome and unique about it.
It's cool you can be amongst the same people who share in the same passion that you do,
You're safe here. You're safe here.
You're safe,
So,
yes.
I have to say, do you have or have you seen any Holy Grail items? Like, if that was here, I would get it. Or what is your favorite piece of gear that you own?
Go ahead, you go, Justin.
There's a lot that catches my eye here, right? Going to Andy's topic, snare drums. I recently purchased a Mapex Black Panther that I've been eyeing up for a long time. Finally got a chance.
Which one do you get?
I don't know the submodel. It's hand-hammered brass. I know that.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
And I seen it at a local Sam Ash, and I was like, I can't pass up. It's right there.
Does
you
it
know?
have the big dimples inside?
Big dimples, yes.
That's the sledgehammer, I believe.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Sound like nothing. The problem is you have an expensive snare drum, and the rest of the kit's worth less than the snare drum now. So now it's tying everything else up. But
hey, man, I'm the same way, except usually it's cymbals that kicks the kid out the door, man.
Yeah.
You can get crazy with cymbals.
I have my neighbors are on the elderly side now, so I try to keep everything quiet. So
So you bought a big brass snare drum?
Yeah. So
How thoughtful
I
of you.
have the black hole viewed on top of it, so I just keep it kind of tamed down a bit. So trying to keep the neighbors happy too,
That's cool, man. You can't go wrong with Black Panther. I've had a 12 by 5, I think it is, Phantom little Black Panther that I've had for years. Can't say how often that comes into play. It's just like kind of smaller to move and this and that. So like especially like acoustic gigs or something, I'll just take that little guy out. It's like this little ripper. I love it. What about you? Holy Grail item that you've seen today or you own or whatever you think?
I am trying to behave here because I'm in the process of ordering Yamaha Hybrid Custom Maple. I want like a dream drum set, and to me that is one of them. I've had many Yamaha products. I've always been drawn to their snare drums. I have a Steve Gadd model drum, the black nickel over chrome. I have a couple other Yamahas that I love. Sure. But I've only ever had like stage custom drum sets, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get.
You want something like really
definitely.
nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The wife surprised me years ago when I turned 30 with the DW acrylic, which was really cool.
That's cool. That's a neat drum.
That still goes out with me when I'm not doing brass stuff. I'll take that out anywhere and everywhere. So I'm trying to behave. I have $175 to spend, so I'm looking.
You're lucky no one can hear you.
I'm being strategic about what I'm trying to find. Yeah. Holy Grail, but like on the simpler side, I guess.
Sure, man. Well, there's a lot to choose from, man. But thanks, guys, for stopping in. I talked you into it. It took all of 0.2 seconds to convince you to do it. You're like, let's do it.
It was our
All
pleasure.
Right.
Our pleasure, honestly.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. We are joined here at Drum Key Podcast at the 2024 Delaware Drum Show by Mr. Gabe Stasnik.
What's up?
You made it. Thank you for coming out.
It's good to see you guys.
Trying to get you all afternoon. All afternoon we've been after you.
No, you've been too busy. That's the problem.
Yeah. We've all been busy.
We've been staring at the back of your head until you turned around.
Not
and we're
true.
giving you like devil horns, like you better come in, trying to lure you in. But
And
thank
every
you for
time
being
I
here.
walk by, you guys are busy. That's a good sign.
It is a good sign.
It was
We've been having
a
lot of
busy
fun.
thing. It was a busy time.
And it's so loud. I have no voice. Can you hear that? Like,
Yeah, dude.
But
There's
this
been
is
a
nice,
few
right?
people.
This
There's
is
been a
nice.
few people that are just like, but with this, we can literally whisper to each other, and we can hear, and no one else knows what we're saying.
It's our quiet place. Look at these. Look at these guys in front of us.
I know. We've been sitting here gossiping about them, and
Like,
they
what are they
literally-
talking about?
Like, look
What's
at Mark.
going on?
Mark's on Facebook right now, just
Yeah.
checking. He's
Checking
like
the
Delaware
status.
Drum Show, with
going
drums,
well.
etc. Boy, this stinks. They don't even let me sit down. I've been hawking T-shirts all day. No. But anyway, thanks for being here, man.
Of course, this is quite a setup. This is
Oh,
this is
it's
amazing.
fun, man. We brought as much of the setup that we normally use at the shop here, and then this might surprise you, these bricks actually aren't real.
Whoa!
Yeah, exactly.
This looks great.
They're
Mind
also-
blown.
They're also this big because it was blown up too big. Anyway, so we're going to talk through this announcement.
Feel free.
And it's okay because we don't interrupt them. But Gabe Stasnik plays for Max Impact Band, Air Force, doing that whole thing. Awesome educator. Co-founder of Total Percussion Seminar, which is rad, still happening in Lancaster. We love supporting that and getting kids educated. Shop talk sessions at the shop, doing all sorts of different things, man. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to know you, and we had to have you sit down today to document this big. Remember that time we were crazy and brought a podcast to literally the loudest place ever? We need to get Gabe in on that.
It's working. It's working. And just, thank you so much. It's been really fun to partner with you guys and be part of everything you're doing at the shop. So.
But I have to ask you, you were making a purchase over there with Mike.
Uh-oh.
And what were you purchasing?
I was making a sale.
Oh, you were making a sale.
Oh,
okay.
hey, this is the only man that made money today. Or wait a minute.
Wait a second. Yeah. Now, I love selling drums. So what did you sell?
I had a 12-inch 1960s Club Date Tom.
Okay.
That is a match to a rest of a kit that I sold him, but I said, I can't sell you this Tom. I need this Tom. But recently I actually found the matching 12 Duco that I wanted for the rest of my studio kit.
Perfect.
Okay.
So now I can safely let it go.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome. Wow. This
Well,
is a
cool.
big moment for you,
It's
man.
a big moment. It was hard to let go, but I love it.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
It's all part of it, the switching around of gear and trading, and it's nice to know that it's going to a good home, someone who can get value out of it and find a new home for it,
Absolutely.
pass it on.
This-
Or,
this whole
you know what?
event was like
Mike's a
that.
collector, though, too. He might just be stashing that one. I don't know.
He's had the rest of that kit for at least a couple years now, so He might be.
Yeah, man.
But this whole event is really cool like that. You saw the guy here next door just said, "Hey, you still got those Black Diamond Pearl Rogers? I have this drum," and it's
wow. Yeah, I
people
know.
got a good memory and they're always looking out for each other, and it's
I love
it's a
it.
great community.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so well connected that it's just this was a no-brainer for us. We're like, we just want to go hang out and talk to people.
Again, the first PA drum show, we just wanted to go and sell T-shirts, and then we ended up taking it over and putting it on and doing it. Then now for this event here, we said, oh, we'll get a booth and we'll sell T-shirts. And then we're like, wait a second, it totally changed. It starts off with one thing and totally changes into another. But
We could do more, but we
that's
could
it.
do more.
You guys are so innovative. You're like the innovative drum shop.
Oh, thank you. That's
I love
a
it.
huge compliment, man. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of creative things. So
Yeah,
we're trying to do put our own spin on stuff, man. Put our own spin on stuff. But yeah, no, I dig it, man. I dig it. Someone just won something behind us.
Bingo.
Yeah, do you hear at our drum show, Shawn, I called a number for the raffle, and no one was saying anything, and Shawn from downstairs.
Oh, I
went,
heard that.
Bingo!
Oh, I heard
and
that.
he yelled bingo really loud, and I was like, oh, we have a winner, blah, blah, blah. And then someone was like, that was Shawn. I was like, oh, thanks a lot, Shawn.
like,
but I
"Shut
should
up,
have known.
Shawn."
I should have
I
known.
heard
Shut up,
that.
Shawn.
I
Yeah.
heard that.
I should have known. But you won something at our drum show.
I did.
You won a PDP concept maple kit.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
yet to see it in videos.
It is still, it's there.
Yeah?
And I need. It's been really hectic.
Yeah.
Since the last drum show, and
Oh
I'm
my
want to
gosh.
get that thing tuned up. And,
Yeah,
and
I
recorded,
can't wait to
so,
hear it.
yeah.
Get it all tuned up how you like it, and get it in your studio. Wait, can we stop and talk a little bit about your videos and everything? Because
Yeah. Sure.
you have an incredible way of capturing videos, and I feel like you turn. I mean, I know we talked about before about front loading and then having content to put out over time or whatever, but you're very consistent about it, and your videos sound really amazing. And you have a way of capturing the drums that feels natural. Like it really feels natural.
thank you.
You can tell when you watch a lot of these drum videos that it's just like, okay, that could literally be a piece of cardboard they're smacking. There's so much processing, but I know you spend so much time learning your craft and really getting down to fine tunings and different soundscapes and things like that. So like you're just trying to record what's in the room, and you've done a really good job about it. It seems so natural. I feel like I'm in the room with the drums.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that's like the best compliment ever, to be honest with you. I mean,
I enjoy your videos, and I was going to say that too. I'm like, oh, thanks for putting us over with our videos and all this kind of stuff. But gosh, your videos are excellent, man. What Adam said, they sound good.
Yeah,
you know what I really
It's
liked
hard to do.
about like learning how to record was being able to then get the sound that I want to get, mix it the way that a
Right.
drummer wants it to be mixed,
Right.
and I want to capture the sound of the drums in the room, not like you're saying like it could be anything and changing it up. So I really love the natural sound of the drums in the room, and that's really what I'm going for. And I'm just having fun. That's just me. My videos are just me doing what I do, trying to be efficient with my time, and
just kind of like hitting that record button and doing it up. But yeah, it's really cool, man. But there is this I gotta say, there's this craze and this phase of like there's a cowboy drummer guy out there.
Yeah,
He's a cool
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, he's great.
Just like trying to come up with like the next like viral video where we do something weird with drums. And then I'll see like one of your videos, and you'll just literally just like kick a beat, and you're gonna be like, this is what a 57 sounds like on a snare, and you like kick a beat, and you're just like, man, I love the drums. Like it just sounds so good. You know, it's like you're not trying the gimmicky stuff.
No
like
gimmicks
you're
needed.
experimenting with sounds and stuff, but it's really natural. It's just like here's something that I could actually
It's like
use.
practical.
Very
thank
practical.
you.
That's a great word for it.
It really is my life and drumming being captured at one. I'm not making that up. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm either practicing or I'm recording or I'm tuning. I'm doing these things and I'm just capturing it and sharing it. And it's real and it's me. And
Awesome,
and I'm glad that people dig it. I'm glad you dig it because that's
do.
all I'm doing.
Dude, it's awesome. My one
It's fun.
critique is that I want to see you making mistakes. I don't need a full blooper reel, but I just need to see something that's not like expertly like crafted and played to a T. So that's what just something to work on, a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure that
I'll
you're
see
a
what
human
I can.
being.
You're going to
pretty-
get tagged on it.
You're pretty, you know. I'm not sure you're fully
We might
human.
not even notice it, you know. So that's the thing.
Hey, it won't be with that PDP kit. How about that?
All right. Be like, yeah, guys. You know how I'm normally awesome? This kit makes me sound horrible. Check this out.
No, it's a mess.
But that's cool because that PDP kit's got, what is that, 24 by 14 or 24 by 12 or something?
Yeah, and I
It's
don't
big drums.
I don't have a 24, so I'm excited about that. And having the studio, I love to have options. That's why I have so many drums and so many snare drums. And
For sure.
what I was really excited about was like I don't have this, and I'm going to tune it up and make it this huge beefy sound.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, something different.
So, exactly.
Something different.
How many raffle tickets did you have that day?
How many raffle tickets?
Did you purchase multiple?
He did buy extra. I remember
I
you
was
buying extra.
I was just simply trying to support the shop and what you guys
no,
do.
I'm just curious if it was like if you just had one and you just were that lucky, or you know how it was.
How were you? I don't remember. How were you selling them?
You got one when you came in, and then you could buy more for $5 each.
I mean, I didn't go buck
You
wild.
go crazy.
I
remember
I
you
know
having
that.
a strip at least this long, so that's
I
all
might
right.
have had like 3 extra or something. I
Yeah,
forget, or
yeah.
I honestly, but I didn't go buck wild. But I
gotta
was.
say,
It was the
yeah.
ticket price was so affordable, and it was supporting the shop, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy some of these, and I'd be happy either way. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, and then I won.
That was awesome.
And
You
now
did-
everybody hates me. So thank you for continuing to share the.
Everybody does make. But I have to say that the that bucket was by far the fullest, man.
Wow.
And it's funny because we talked to so many drummers here today, and we were talking about the drums and different things, and we end up talking about cymbals with everyone. We're like, cymbals, like we're all cymbal nerds, like even more than the drums in a weird way, because you can have more and store them and different. You can't modify their sound as much, you know. So we've been talking about that all day. But I was sure, like we had an HHX Legacy crash and a projection crash from Zildjian and something else. We had a bunch of cymbals and things, and I was like, for sure that those are going to be like full to the brim. But there's something about getting
Something
a free
about
drum
seeing
set,
a
man.
drum kit. You
Yeah,
can't-
like a free drum kit, man,
Absolutely.
or not free, but you know,
Yeah.
a $5 drum set.
It's amazing.
Is very, very amazing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, I'm glad that we were able to wrangle you in here, man. Do you have any upcoming shows? Anything you want to plug? Anything education-wise you're doing that you want to talk about?
I'm always trying to share what I'm doing. We just got back from Daytona, and we're working on doing a show in Lancaster this summer.
Oh, wow.
Can't really officially announce it yet, but if that happens, I'd love to share that with you guys. And,
Absolutely.
And plug that, and then I know I'm going to be at the shop at the end of the year as well, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
bringing
man.
the pads and the sticks out.
Yeah, master classes.
I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we had Paul Murs last night.
Oh yeah, how was that?
And it was great.
Awesome.
It was awesome. And we had thrones out and pads and everything. I have some pictures. I didn't get a chance because I was packing for this to post anything of it yet. But we had that out. And we actually had a couple kits up front where he did a little demo kind of thing and like a little back and forth. So like we've got the setup down, man.
great.
That room is great. And it was really neat to hear everyone playing on the pads and participating. So and that was really well received. So I'm really excited
Fantastic.
for your masterclass, man.
All
So.
Paul's. I've seen Paul teach in the past. They're amazing. The whole lineup you guys have is really
I'm
amazing.
excited.
I'm just honored to be part of it. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have the companies help out and do some giveaways and stuff as well.
Yeah,
We're
man,
just
always.
want it to be a fun hang at the shop.
That's what we're doing, man. That's what we're doing. We're getting a little feedback. We did the shop talks, which are a cool kind of thing, which we might do some more of those, but people were asking for more in depth, more hands-on. We're like, we can do that. Master classes. Let's
Amazing.
do it. Let's do
That's
it.
awesome.
So,
I really
awesome.
appreciate you guys. I appreciate what you're doing.
Thanks, Gabe.
Dude, thanks for being a part of this,
Yes.
being a part of everything that we're doing at Drums, Etc., dude. It's nice to be like, oh yeah, we know Gabe when people come
guys
in.
are too kind.
It's very good. We brag about you, so keep up the good work, brother.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, man.
We are wrapping up, and who better than our friend, Mr. Ed Toth. Incredible drummer, awesome dude, and I'm so happy to see you places now.
Thank
see
you,
you at
man.
gigs. I run into you out in the wild. I run into you at the drum show, man. It's
I know.
incredible.
That's what happens when you're not doing anything until summer.
That's it. Ed needs a gig, guys.
That's
until
right.
Summer.
I need a gig. Somebody call me.
Someone call.
I'll work for cheap.
But playing the Doobie Brothers for how long?
Almost 20 years now.
Almost
Unbelievable.
20
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Wow. Incredible, man.
This is kind of, it depends on how you look at it. I joined in March of 05. I played in 05.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the beginning of like season 20.
Yeah.
My 20th touring season is about to start. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be all around the States, and Robert Cray is opening some shows with us,
cool.
the blues guitarist, and Steve Winwood is opening some shows for us as well. So I'm really looking forward to summer. It should be a lot of fun.
Dude, that's going to be a great summer.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about it. We were like, hey, we'll pack up soon, but we've got to try to see if we can get Ed over here. But just real quick, man, I know.
Yeah, no,
everyone's
thanks for
looking
having
to-
me. I don't need to
looking
be anywhere till 5.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we're here till 5. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. 5:59.
No, but we were just talking about this drum show thing, man. We're relatively new to it as the shop, and we ran the PA drum show this past year for the first time, and it was awesome. And we were gonna have you, and you got called off on a gig and everything, which is totally cool. But we were just talking about how unique this is.
Yeah.
Like
it's
where
really
else,
cool.
you know?
Yeah.
You get this kind of thing.
Well, and to be able to get a couple so in the same general area as well, which is just great, you know. I mean, Lancaster's about an hour 20 from where we are right now here in Delaware, Newmarket, Delaware, and to be able to do it a couple of times, like bookend the year, like start with the Delaware Drum Show and end with the Pennsylvania Drum Show. It's great.
Beautiful thing.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. You got the clinic side of things, and of course you got the gear and the floor out here.
Plenty of gear.
But there's just always more gear than drummers. But that's how all of us are. We have more drums than ourselves. So we have like all of these different things going on. But like the networking thing is fun, and not just like like you meet someone who leads to this next gig or something like that, but just like seeing the people. You know, a lot of times I'll see someone at a drum show, and then I'll just see them at the next drum show. It's the only time you see them. And it's so nice to connect with people.
I've seen some people here that I haven't seen since the drum show here last year.
Yeah, nice.
But it's a cool thing to do, and then you'll meet some people that you are friends with on social media.
Yeah, and you get face to face.
Yeah, which is kind of how we used to do it in the old days. You know.
You're right.
So, and it's always better ultimately than anything else. So. It's just so cool, and the clinics here were great. Joe Bergamini's clinic was fantastic. Yeah. Being able to watch Bernard Purdy play Rocksteady and Home at Last was just like
very cool.
Unbelievable. And then Keith Carlock came in and did his Keith Carlock thing, which is always great too.
Yeah. So. No, very cool, man. Very cool. And it's so interesting because the guys seem to really enjoy the hang just as much. You know what I mean? Like the meet and greet, aka just go meet your heroes for a lot of drummers that come to these shows, is so like it's awesome to even watch because they're so sincere and into it. You know, there's no like, and I'm sure not saying everybody's perfect, but for the most part in the drum world, there isn't at these events. There's no diva like don't you know who I am? They're very accessible.
Yeah, which I think is fantastic, and I think you find that with most drummers. You know, everybody's approachable and that kind of stuff, and it depends on when you get them. You know, if you see a guy out somewhere having dinner with his family, you're probably going to stay away. But if you see a guy roaming around a drum show looking at gear just like you are, you're going to say, "Excuse me, can I say hello?" And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a hello back, and
exactly
that one time is you get a fist, which is those are difficult. But
we've been trying to talk to you all day and
about
you've been blowing us off.
Yeah. No, that's not true.
What time did you get here today?
I got here right after Joe started his clinic, so shortly after 11.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, I saw you walk by a couple times or something, so I was like, oh, Ed's in the house.
And I knew I was going to come by before I left. I just, it was clinic, and then like you said, it's like, okay, I'm going to make my way this way, and a couple of people want to chat, so you chat, and then it's like,
man.
the next clinic's starting, so you go back to the clinic. And I actually, after Bernard's, I actually walked out the back door and around because I wanted to get some water.
Yeah,
and I was dying to get a bottle of water, which is at the front of the thing. And for those of you that don't know, the clinics are in the back. So I walked out and around outside just to get out to grab some water and all that. But
no matter what you do, you walk 5 feet and you bump into someone else that either knows you or you know them.
I ran into a guy who's a band director here in Delaware. His name's Bob Wilson. And we went to high school together. We were in drumline in high school together. Yeah, and I haven't seen. And I knew that I might run into Bob here.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen Bob since school in Connecticut. We grew up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And so running into him was great, and sort of reconnecting with him and all that.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's just crazy. And then Keith, I knew from the Doobies were out with Steely Dan in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really seen Keith. I saw him once briefly in Nashville.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really seen him since, and hadn't seen him play because he's off doing his thing and I'm off doing my thing. And so it was good to sort of see Keith and say hey and hear him play and all that. So, and it's just cool. And run into you guys too. Like
it's fun, man.
It's the best.
I love it.
It's the best.
I love it. We got a tight-knit
How's your
community,
day
man.
going? How many times did you ring the bell?
A few times. What was the ongoing theme for today? I kept ringing the bell for something, and Freddie asked me earlier, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, there's been a couple things, but folks keep going back to. We were talking about. I
want to bring
This concept kept getting brought up that you can modify the sound of the drums, but you can't modify a cymbal sound. So that's why
Ed wanted me to ring that
we've
bell.
We've almost narrowed down the reason why we all end up with so many cymbals. And that keeps getting brought up. Of course, the storage thing, the obsession, the collection, the different soundscapes and stuff like that. But that was a recurring theme. People kept mentioning that like, yeah, I could get my drums to sound decent, but you can't really change a cymbal, you know?
Right.
In a quick amount of time.
You're not going to be able to pitch your cymbal.
Right.
Or, I mean, you can deaden it, and you can put things on it to
Magnets,
get different
things like that.
characters out of it and
Yeah,
stuff
of
like
course.
that. But ultimately, when you buy a cymbal, like that's the fundamental sound you're going to get.
That's what you're going to get
out of that instrument.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is a reason why people buy a lot of cymbals.
Yeah, man.
And you just want those cymbals at your disposal too, like you know.
For a different gig,
for
that
this
can
gig,
really
I'm gonna
change your sound,
Grab
too.
my K Customs. I'm going to grab AAX for a rock gig, or you just need a variety. Whereas drums, like we're all saying, you could put different heads on, you could tune them differently. But cymbals, you need a wide variety of them.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of which. You were asking about the Pat Petrillo
rack.
drum rack.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were able to talk to him.
Oh
about
yeah.
You know,
that.
I did
He
have
has
some
one. He has one here.
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
And he said
He said he'll
literally
sell it
said
to
if Ed wants it at the end of the day, he can buy it from me.
I will go over and see him.
Go
then.
over. Yeah, we won't hold you up.
Because I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I bought the Picaro books instead.
Yeah.
but I do want one of those, so
Yeah.
I will go over and ask him
He
about
said
that.
there's basically this. You guys don't care about this, but he said that there's.
But they do.
There's like
They do.
there's a production thing. He's got this awesome cymbal cart. We actually pitched it earlier. But he's got this awesome cymbal cart thing. But he said with production, there's like some issues with it. So he thought he was ready to distribute it, and then not quite. So it's kind of like gotten put on hold for a minute. But he has a couple.
Yeah, I have one. It's got issues with it, but I'll sell it to Ed. I'm just gonna have to give him.
It's more about I can't get any more, but
Ed's
I have
a
this
sucker.
one.
I have to give him some nonsense about that.
Give it to Ed. I'll sell it to Ed, though.
Yeah,
That's a good sport.
It's got we have some production issues, but I'll sell this one to Ed.
We brought you up.
Story-
By the way,
there's
that
some
was the
recalls.
first conversation.
Yeah.
I had
Story
with
of
him
my
today.
life, man.
That's the first conversation I had with him today. Was going to bat for you with Pat, saying, "Hey, you're not going to need this after the show. You don't want to take that thing home, sell it to Ed." I told you, I'm a
Fabulous.
He
man of
says
my
there's
word.
there's
man.
some recall issues. It might self-destruct. So,
Right,
you know.
right, right.
Yeah, as long as you don't put symbols on it,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
May cause cancer.
Yeah.
You know?
All those warnings. All those warnings.
Oh man.
Man.
Now I'll have to go over and see if he's got it.
Yep. All right, man. Well, what a great way to wrap up today. 2024 Delaware Drum Show. Shawn, you got anything to add for today?
No, I'm so happy to wrap it up with Ed, and I was eyeballing him too, trying to get his attention to come on over, and I'm glad that like you're the last guest of the day, and I enjoy your company coming in and rapping and talking drums, man, and you're incredible and love you.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it, man. I love the camaraderie we've developed over the last couple of years, and you know me, I love popping into the shop, even if it's just to be like, oh, dude, you got to hear this, or whatever.
Bring or share your GAD book.
Yeah,
like you did,
I brought the GAD book in, and I'm like, you need to buy this book, and you need to have this book on sale in the shop, just things like that old school kind of music store hang, and the fact that it's a drum store, and I could practically walk to it from where I'm living now, which is just fantastic.
And then also, we'd love to have you on the regular podcast in long form too sometimes.
Yeah, anytime.
We're trying to do one a month, so definitely get you on for that because that's a lot of fun. We just have a lot of laughs and just talking drums.
I've seen them,
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm not really doing much until the end. I'm in town until the end of May. So whenever you guys want to do something, let me know,
Yeah, man,
and
we'll set it up.
come down and do it.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome.
And the master classes. So
Yes.
to the people watching this, go to the master classes.
Yes.
I was at Paul's last night.
Yes.
And it was really, really cool. And that's such a great thing to be offering to the community as well. So I mean,
Yeah, man,
all you got to
we're really
do.
proud of it.
All you got to do now is get a bigger space.
I know. If anyone out there is a realtor looking to help a drum shop out or has a
right.
space, it's only got to come together once.
Yeah.
Baby. You got a drum shop space. We got a drum shop.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I'm
Thank you.
honored to know you guys and love everything that's going on. So
Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks. Have a good one.
You too.